You don't have to worry about the audio.
We don't need the audio. We just need Anthony's soothing voice.
Thank you, Jamie. So go ahead, pot it down, Bradford, and let's do it right.
Here you go. Here you go, Anthony. Quick.
No. Let's get nasty on a Monday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford Bruns filling in again for DJ Marshy Marsh, who's, I guess, traveling back from Minnesota.
I don't know what the hell Marshy's doing.
Nobody does.
You know, he's up there in Minnesota. I see him posing with all his boys.
Yeah, what's with that?
I don't know.
What's with the stance and all that?
I just don't know, Anthony. I don't know.
He's a weird guy, Ace. 205, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. All right, let's get into the weekend that was. I think the highlight from yesterday was Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty allowed 3 runs, 3 hits, 6 innings, 3 straight quality starts now for him, 4 straight wins, 3 more walks today. He's now up to 51 in 98 and 2/3 innings for the season, but he has pitched well, and he is pitching well right before the MLB trade deadline. So, perfect situation for the Cardinals. We still got to wait to see what's going on with Jordan Montgomery and when he's going to return. But Jack Flaherty is going to get something for the Cards. He's going to fetch something. And
why do we get rid of him so bad, Anthony?
Well, because he's a pending free agent, and this team's not going anywhere, and they need long-term pitching.
What has ever given you the idea that he did not want to be a Cardinal for life?
Well, the whole thing about, testing the market, making sure that he always goes to
business,
arbitration, things like that.
Every time your contract comes up, I see what you do around here.
What do I do?
Oh, you start testing the market. You start threatening that you'll test the market and that Bristol's calling and all this other stuff. They make poor Tommy mad, and he goes into therapy. And John Kielski, the poor guys, they think they're going to lose you every 6 months.
Yeah, to you and I, in contract negotiations, I'm the tough one.
Listen, just because there was a glitch one time, okay? The glitch wasn't necessarily my fault.
However, you're right. Not necessarily.
I did have to disappear.
Yeah.
Why do you keep calling it Stalter and Rivers when it's just Stalter? Where's Jamie?
That was a good week.
I can't tell you. 4 months. 4 months later.
I'm just back.
Yeah, there he is. Anyways, all right. So Jack Flaherty, Jamie, do you feel as though that he's gonna fetch you a haul at the deadline? I mean, not like a Goldschmidt haul, but a decent haul.
I think he will get you something good. Look, with a couple of starts that are outliers, Jack Flaherty's numbers are really good. And teams that are looking to add depth in their rotation for either a stretch run to put them in the playoffs or a team that wants some extra depth come playoff time, why would you not add Jack Flaherty?
Yeah.
If you're a team like the Dodgers, per se, I circled the Orioles, too. The Orioles, I had Monty going to the Orioles, but Jack Flaherty could go there, too. You're a team that's contending for a playoff spot. Why would you not kick the tires on Jack Flaherty?
Yep.
Especially if you have a good pool of prospects that you're willing to part with. So I think Jack Flaherty, I don't think it'll be a king's ransom coming back the other way, but it'll be certainly better than what it was at the start of the season.
Think about it this way, Jamie. I think that Giolito will be one of the bigger names that is moved to the Shohei Ohtani, of course. Ohtani will be the prize.
He's going to look good with the birds on the bat.
The Orioles?
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Did they move to the birds on a? They didn't put the Orioles on
Does
the
he
bat,
have a
did they?
no-trade clause at all?
Oh, I don't know.
Shohei?
I doubt it.
I can't imagine he'd be thrilled about one of the Orioles. Nothing against the Orioles, but I don't see Shohei time in Baltimore.
Hey, Shohei, do you want to play in the playoffs or postseason?
Who cares right now? No, that's not true. He's a world champion.
He is a world. He's a multi-world champion. Was he on both the teams the last 2 World Series?
You just staltered it right there. He's a multiple. You had no idea.
I had no idea.
No idea.
I actually felt it in my bones.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I said, "Oh, he's a and then I started to the hamster slowed down. Like the hamster was full on the wheel there.
I looked at you and you went,
and then it stopped.
Bradford, this is rule number 4, by the way. Don't always believe anything Anthony spits out when it comes to numbers.
or anything.
Pretty much anything. I wasn't going to be that upfront with it, but when he answers quickly,
yes,
there's reason to believe he's staltering you, which means he's just making it up.
I appreciate the sage wisdom. You let me down gently at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Now we're rolling.
There you go.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I was wrong, but if I was right, I probably just guessed right.
Oh, and if you're right, boy, do you own it.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for you, Anthony.
Anyways, so Ohtani's going to be the prize. If you miss out on Ohtani, or you don't want to pay the ransom that the Angels are going to be asking for, even for a rental, Lucas Giolito, I think, is going to be one of the other prizes at the deadline.
The Dodgers are getting him.
You think so?
I know it's been rumored. They're rumored on everything.
Yeah, they need pitching bad. Eduardo Rodriguez from Detroit will be an interesting guy that could be moved. Sonny Gray is pitching very well for Minnesota, but Minnesota is kind of, in the thick of the wild card race at the very least, if not the division, because Cleveland's not very good. The whole division stinks. So I don't know why they would move on from Sonny Gray outside of just saying, hey, let's capitalize, while the iron's hot here. But if you miss out on some of those, then you get to Jack Flaherty. Think about that. You miss out on Ohtani, you miss out on Giolito, you miss out on Eduardo Rodriguez, and then it's Flaherty and Rich Hill / Zach Greinke.
So if you're a team out there and you have Rich Hill or Jack Flaherty available, who are you circling?
Flaherty.
I know.
If all things being equal, because they would all be rentals. I'm going with the guy that might miss bats, and he looked sharp yesterday. I know it's the Nationals. I know they were down Candelario, who is one of their, for the YouTube viewers, big hitters, quote unquote.
For the non-YouTube people, what were you doing there?
I was doing the air quotes.
So you have to sometimes just, okay?
Yeah.
Don't forget about our listeners.
Big hitters.
We're not just watchers.
I understand that. Boy, you got an attitude on a Monday.
A little bit,
and
yeah.
you went to the lake. You seemingly had a good time.
Sure did. My
And you
gosh.
come back with this attitude, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
It's called edge, Anthony.
Got it.
I regained my edge at the lake.
Fair enough. So Jack Flaherty, I think, would be a nice prize for somebody. So we'll see.
Monty and Jack are going to get you a pretty good return. If they decide to move on from both, which they should, they'll get the Cardinals a good return. And hopefully then some of that pans out moving forward.
And for those that are saying, why would you trade pitching when you need pitching? Because you don't know if you're going to sign those guys.
Well, those guys might walk.
Those guys might
You
walk.
have absolutely no control in the matter.
The draft pick doesn't do anything for you immediately. For those that are saying, I want to win again next year, and I want to see the Cardinals win again next year, I want to see them be back in contention, well, then you definitely trade those guys, because you could get pitching that could help you for the second half this year. Not that you're going anywhere this year, but could be in your starting rotation for the second half, and then you can roll these guys back again next year. I think that you can get some guys that, at least one, if not two, that will be in your starting rotation next year. And then, of course, you hit market. You're looking at maybe either one-year deals, or you break the bank and go for a Nola or go for a Blake Snell.
You have to. In my opinion, I am steadfast on that. You absolutely have to break the bank for one of those two pitchers. That is your foundation, and then you build around that.
Agreed. That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Alexei Toropchenko, he signs a 2-year contract extension. Jamie will tell you why that's important. We'll also discuss whether or not the roster is completely done at this juncture. I would think so, given the contracts. That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you are looking to upgrade your kitchen or your bathroom, and you're like me, and you had absolutely no idea what you're doing, well, leave it up to the experts. Head down to E&B Granite. They are located at 6135 Manchester Avenue. Please let them know I sent you in there. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent me in. And they're going to ask you, what you're looking to accomplish. Are you looking to do countertops, cabinets? There's so many other options available. And if you do go with the countertops, man, they are the best in the business. They have great selection from granite to quartz to marble, even soapstone. And here's my personal favorite. They have everything in the back of the warehouse. So instead of a picture or a little small sample size of what you might be putting in your kitchen or your bathroom, you get to go back and look at the entire slab and choose for yourself what goes best with what you're thinking. And then the representatives do such an amazing job of mapping it out for you from the measurement stage to the demolition stage where they pull out all your old stuff, and the installation is always impeccably done. And they also give you a list of things to do to take care of your countertop, because all of those countertops require something different, and E&B Granite wants to make sure that you are taken care of. So please give them a call at 314-645-9300. Again, that number's 314-645-9300, or you can visit them at enbgranite.com.
Young guys like Alexei Toropchenko have got to take the step, and the Blues have opened up the opportunity for them to do it. Can he make himself say, I don't want to play 7 minutes on the fourth line. I want to play 12 minutes on the third line. I want to be a penalty killer. I can play even strength 10, 12 minutes on the third line. I can get 3 minutes of penalty kill. I can get 13 to 15 minutes a game. He's got that kind of hockey sense. He's got that attitude. He's got that coachability. He's got that physicality. He can do it. The question is, does he take that next step?
As voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber on the opening drive earlier this morning talking about the Alexei Toropchenko 2-year contract extension with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie.
Yes, sir.
What do we need to know about this contract extension?
Well, I think it's a great contract extension for both the club and the individual. You know, Alexei Toropchenko kind of, flew under the radar a couple of years ago until he got called up, and Craig Berube fell in love with how hard he plays, how hard he competes out there. And he's, 6'6" or 6'7"? I can tell you what, being down at ice level the very first time I saw him, who the heck is this mutant? I mean, he's massive, and he can fly around out there. He's not afraid to be physical and get involved. He's got a little bit of offensive awareness. I'd like to see him try to expand that, grow that up a little bit here in the next season or two. I think that he's got the ability to contribute a little more offensively. But what I like about his game is he's really, really good at getting in on the forecheck and being a disruptor. And at 6'6", being a disruptor, I mean, you better be. He gets in there, he finishes his hits, he's got a good defensive stick. It has translated to him getting some penalty kill time, which we'll see which direction the Blues go with that this year. Not a strong suit for them last year, so we'll see who gets the assignments. I know they liked Barbashev and Saad together for a while last year. Saad got a lot of opportunities, shorthanded, to create some offense. Now Barbie's gone. Sundqvist is back. Where does he slot into this penalty kill? O'Reilly's gone. Schenner does kill penalties, but not a ton. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the opportunity and who seizes the moment, because Curbs is talking about playing more minutes in a game. When you get specialty teams minutes, that's the gravy right there. So if you're a 7-minute-a-game guy, but you get 3.5 minutes on the penalty kill, now you're a 10.5-minute-a-game guy. Then if you get 9 minutes and you get 3.5 minutes, like you see how that's how you incrementally improve your ice time, or your time on ice. And so for players who play both, penalty kill and power play, that's how Ryan O'Reilly, would get up to 21, 22 minutes a game, because he plays in every single situation.
Yeah.
This is how guys like Justin Falk end up at 26, 27. He plays every situation. So that I think that's a great way for Alexei Toropchenko to increase his role on this team. But the one thing I look at now is the depth that they have up front. Now let's go back to the obvious. They don't have the super high-end scorer yet. Can Thomas and Kyrou make that jump? I don't know. To be determined. Can Buchnevich be a point-a-game guy? He was over a point a game last year. So if you multiply that by 82 games, let's say, instead of 68 or 69 he played last year, and he averages 5 or 6 points over, he's a 90-point guy. It's a big difference for your club. If he's a 90-point guy on a line with Thomas and Kyrou, I guarantee they're 90 to 100-point players. So that's how those three can grow together, but they have to get there. That 100-point plateau is huge.
Yeah.
It is. It's huge. If you're just going to be a 70 to 80-point guy, now you better have really good depth. And I think that's what Army's done here, is he's increased the depth underneath that top line. Just in case Thomas and Kyrou are only 80-point, 85-point guys, when you throw out a second line and a third line and a fourth line that there's really very little to no drop-off, that resembles the 2019 forward group. Now, you had some high-end at the top of that. Tarasenko was having a good year. O'Reilly was having a career year, I think, over 80 points. But none of them were dynamic scorers. The strength of the team in 2019 was the depth of the group and their ability to compete and win battles. So the forward group now, when you look at it on cap friendly, you've got $293,000 left of cap space. Your roster right now is 23 players. That's exactly what you need to start the season. Perunovic is not listed on the cap-friendly roster because he finished the season in the American Hockey League. So there will be some kind of movement there. Someone will have to go in order for him to stay. Who that is, I don't know yet. But it makes for good competition come training camp. You've got 9 defensemen that are going to be competing for 6 spots, and you've got a whole bunch of forwards, and 14 forwards competing for, actually 15 forwards competing for 12 spots. This is going to be a healthy environment for the Blues. The competition that Craig Berube has always wanted in training camp, and the competitiveness from each player to every single day, that's going to be at the forefront right away in training camp.
So I like the depth, and I like what Army was able to do with limited resources, i.e. some of the things that he did going back to last year's trade deadline, and now, of course, the moves that he has made this offseason. The roster is complete. I don't think there's another move to be made. I don't think there's necessarily a move that needs to be made. That's realistic, of course. But my question to you, Jamie, would be, are they great in a certain area? Is there an area where they really stand out? I know what you're talking about with the depth. They've got solid depth. If you look at the forward group, you've got the scoring can be spread out. The defense we've talked about ad nauseum. We know that they're going to have to resemble what they were 2 years ago as opposed to last year. Mm-hmm. And we know that the goaltending, and maybe this is where you're thinking, based on my question, we know the goaltending has the ability to be great with that 1-2 combination of Binnington and Hofer. Do they excel in any other area, though?
Based off of the finish of last season, no. No. And it's to be determined.
How concerning is that to you?
It's not that concerning because you're still anticipating players to take the next steps. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting here patiently waiting, Robert Thompson, Jordan Kyrou, to make the next steps. And if you go over the point totals for the last 2 seasons, those guys are producing. They're producing, and they're just now this season, just now, they be the guys. You still had O'Reilly around last year. You still had Toropchenko. Like, are they the guys? Are they not? We're kind of spread out ice time. Now it's, you're the freaking go-to guy. Our power play will be generated around you and Kyrou. And, hey, Torrey Krug, I know we tried to trade you. We asked you to waive your no-trade clause. But now you need to do exactly what we signed you to do.
We love you again. Come on back.
And you know what, Anthony? It's pro sports.
Yeah, you're right.
He goes out there and starts quarterbacking a top-5 power play. Do you think we care anymore?
Oh, God, no.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all.
Winning is the only thing that matters, Jamie.
Winning and producing. That's it. Because
Producing, then winning.
whatever. You got a team right now that was not great last year. You had players that didn't have career years. So if Torrey Krug flips it on its head and goes back to what he was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you're like, holy crap. Glad we have this guy. If he doesn't, then you know where you still have to improve. So for me, you don't have an area that you're great at yet. Your biggest area of strength, in my opinion, is goaltender. And it's not, if you love Jordan Binnington or you don't love Jordan Binnington, I don't really care. The bottom line is that he's a big-time goalie that produces in the biggest moments. 2019, he took that team on his back and ran with it. Had a lot of help, don't get me wrong. But without Jordan Binnington, I would argue you win the cup. You don't. I just think you don't. And you go back to the following season, he had a good year, too, until the bubble and all that crap happened.
Right.
But then you go back to Colorado. He stood on his head. He won you the Minnesota series, then goes into Colorado and almost pulls a rabbit out of a hat.
When you had nothing else.
Because he's a big-time goalie.
Yeah.
If he stumbles at all this season, the good thing about it is you're not going to Thomas Greiss. No offense to Thomas Greiss, and congratulations on a great NHL career, but you've got Joel Hofer now, who came in and showed you and everyone else that he can handle the big leagues. So I think the Blues' biggest area of strength is goaltending right now, but the question marks with tremendous upside is their young forwards. What can Thomas and Kyrou do, and Buchnevich? I know Buch is a little older, but this guy's coming off a really good season. He had some injuries, but if he stays healthy, I think this group can do some really good things.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do have our Sports Six-Pack coming up a little bit later on. 314-399-9646 is our Air Comfort Service text line. If you want to start sending in some questions, Bradford will pull them for that segment, and we'll get to that at some point. But the Cardinals made a move today that all of us collectively were like, what the hell just happened here? That's next on 101 ESPN.
I think everybody understands that selling your home is a really big deal. And now is definitely not the time to trust the sale of your home with an agent that, one, maybe you don't know, and two, you just can't trust them. They don't have the track record to go with it. That's why you have to try my friend Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. And here's why. Gloria already has the buyers. What does that mean? It means she has a database with thousands of ready buyers that are going to create a higher demand for your home, hopefully multiple offers, and at the end of the day, more money in your pocket. And Gloria Liu, she's already mastered the home selling process and has great options for every seller. The option that I love is guaranteed sales. And what that means is Gloria sits down with the seller, agrees upon a listing price, and sells the home for that price, or she buys it herself, and she guarantees that in handwriting. So please do yourself a favor if you're selling your home and call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you. That number is 314-325-6888. Again, that number is 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on price and possession date.
Cardinals meet the Marlins again. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. For the second time this month, St. Louis scheduled to do battle with Miami tonight. It's a 6:45 first pitch at Busch Stadium for the opener of a 3-game set. The Cards took 2 of 3 from Washington coming out of the All-Star break, while Skip Schumacher's club suffered a sweep at the hands of Baltimore. Miles Michaelis towing the rubber in this one after his rain-shortened turn on Friday. Elsewhere in the division, in the 6 o'clock hour, second place Cincinnati will host Logan Webb and the Giants, and the Cubs could test those scuffling Nationals. This SportsCenter update was driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and the Cardinals made a move today that shocked us in the office. I mean, collectively, we're all like, we don't understand this one. So the Cardinals designated Génesis Cabrera for assignment. I would imagine that he would be back at some point, provided, of course, that another team doesn't pick him up. Maybe, the Cardinals will be able to even find a trade partner for Cabrera over the next couple of weeks, but to just, get rid of him, designate him for assignment, given that he's 26 years old, the Cardinals have had bullpen issues, he's a left-hander. I don't get this one. I mean, there's got to be something else going on behind the scenes, and I pardon my speculation, but there's got to be something else going on that we're just not privy to at this point. Why else would you release a 26-year-old lefty that can throw gas and that has been, outside of last year, very good for you?
Because as of yet, and things are just starting to move and shake at the ballpark today prior to the series opener, there's not a corresponding move of note.
Right.
Therefore, you have to speculate at this juncture. What we do know, though, gentlemen, what we observed Friday night leading into Saturday afternoon, the fact of the matter is that once more, now everything is hamstrung when you only get 30-something pitches from Miles Michaelis. You can't help that.
Right.
But then pressed into duty, what you have again, so you have once again some work from Andre Palante, to put it politely, less than enviable stuff, right? And this is somebody you just parted ways, or so it would seem, with somebody in Cabrera. You mentioned the age, you mentioned the stuff, the swing and miss stuff. This is a bullpen that is nearly, with the exception of Jordan Hicks, wholly devoid of guys with swing and miss stuff.
Right.
And yet the individuals right now tasked with trying to keep the ball on the ground are experiencing nothing but erratic control issues. It's very puzzling.
Is this a move that they're making just because they can make it? And what I mean by that is that he has options. And not that I'm suggesting that Palante does not have options, but is this simply a roster move for roster space? Like, is the intentions maybe to not use him tonight? You have the roster spot, then see where, like, he could be on the Memphis shuttle.
Yeah, but I mean, they designated him, though.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
they didn't option him?
No, this is a flat designation.
Hang on a second. Hey, Jamie, welcome to the show. It's a fast lane.
Up for grabs now.
That's all right. Yeah, no, he's completely exposed, which is what. Sending him down, I'd be in line with you. Like, okay,
Anthony,
well,
this changes everything
fresh
for
arm.
me.
Yeah.
All those notes I had. Hang on a second here. I'm gonna throw this away
Thanks, Jamie.
because none of that matters.
I want to go
I
back.
don't know what the hell my brain is thinking.
That's all right. I mean,
I saw
we're all
designated. I
there.
was like, oh, he's just got optioned.
Yeah.
Like automatically, my brain did that.
No, flat designation, man. And it's funny because I want to. Thank you. Because you were too steady with this.
I was. I know. Now you can tell that I was like,
Anthony
hey,
just optioned him.
son of a.
No, they designated him for assignment.
So anybody can grab him now.
Correct.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
The only
He
way.
pissed in someone's Cheerios. Something happened somewhere.
I
For
mean,
sure.
last year we know that he and Ali had.
Maybe it happened again.
Maybe.
But still, even if it happened again, I'd tell him to go home and wait for a phone call. He's going to be traded.
Right.
Like, I would get something. What's the designation rule?
Well, he's exposed to waivers now.
Yeah, but if someone picks him up, is there compensation?
I don't think so.
Because
No.
there used to be in the NHL for waiver wire pickups, there was a monetary value attached to it.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Not
Maybe
that the
Brad-
Cardinals need the money for Cabrera, but I'm just talking about
No.
a player maybe.
You know, in Bradford, maybe you can look up the designation rules. I don't know if somebody claims him, the Cardinals have a certain time period where they can orchestrate a trade. But either way, they have completely allowed Génesis Cabrera to be picked up by somebody
I don't
else.
get the move at all, Anthony. Why
thank
would
you.
you do this?
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
You know, outside of him having a meltdown, a blow up, I don't know.
They were just praising him.
Well, he pitched what? They closed out the game on, was that yesterday or
Didn't he
Sunday?
give
It
up
was
a
yesterday.
dinger, though?
No, I just
No?
gave up the one down the line.
Oh, yeah.
No big deal.
He did, and he threw 30-something pitches to boot, which would have made, again, a temporary demotion make sense.
Yeah, bring
That's
up a
where my
fresh arm.
head was at.
Yeah,
Now
no.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Maybe somebody screwed up the paperwork.
No,
Come on, Gersh.
it wasn't me.
Jeez.
I wasn't in charge.
No, yeah, paperwork for you.
That's not good, yeah.
Nobody wants you to do any paperwork.
Nope.
Yeah, so again, this doesn't make sense. Now, expanding the conversation to the bullpen as a whole, Jamie,
Thank you.
is Bradford's right. I mean, you've got Dakota Hudson that's basically, hey, just try to keep the ball in the yard. Thank you, Alec Burleson, for making the catch the other day, or else that wouldn't have been in the yard. So Dakota Hudson, soft tossing arm out of your pen. Chris Stratton.
Anthony, I was watching him pitch the other night.
Were you impressed?
No.
Okay.
No, I wasn't.
All right.
You know what it reminded me of? The home run derby. Whoa. Guys just pitching this spinning crap that doesn't move right down the middle of the strike zone. And guys were just pounding it. Mm-hmm. Like pounding balls everywhere.
Yeah, Chris Duncan style.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Come on now, he downright shoved on the heels of the Steven Matz performance. He gave you 3 1/3 scoreless.
Well, let's celebrate that, Bradford.
It is cause for celebration this year.
Bradford threw
you're not
that
wrong.
out. Bradford threw that out in the office, and he's right. I mean, he did throw the scoreless, wouldn't have been scoreless if Alec Burleson didn't make an absolutely remarkable catch.
Let's isolate that for a second.
How? Why?
Alec Burleson
Who?
made.
He had a great weekend.
I did.
All the way around.
But Alec Burleson saved you.
Yeah.
Like,
Hold
things
on.
I never thought I'd say.
Can we? Nice. We got to bring that segment back. So let's take a step back on this. The two, not literally, Jamie, metaphorically.
It's hard to hear me when I step back, Anthony.
No, the mic is outstanding. They got good mics here at 101 ESPN.
Now they do.
Now they do. The two best catches all weekend came from Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker.
Defensive stalwarts.
It's that time with Willie McGee prior to these games,
Maybe.
gentlemen, finally paying off.
Burleson brought that up, too. I forget where I saw it, if I read it or heard it, but I know Burleson said it's, Willie McGee pushing him all the time at batting practice to treat everything like it's a game situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Burley drugged that Buick right across left field
he
and
did.
caught that thing, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Wow.
Good for him.
Jamie.
Old barrel chest himself.
Yeah. You like Alec Burleson.
I do like him a lot.
Jamie, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and it remains, coming off the heels of the Génesis Cabrera designation, it remains true. You have to revamp this entire pitching staff. It's not just the starting pitching. You have to revamp the bullpen. Completely revamp it. Who in this pen besides Jordan Hicks right now do you really trust? Like,
I think
Gallegos-
Gio's my guy. I'm still okay riding with Gio. He's going to have his moments, going to have his hiccups, but
Yeah.
the lesser of all evils is Gio right now. It goes Hicks, then Gio for me. Palante used to be my ride or die, but oof.
He's out. Stratton's been good, but
Stratton was good the other day.
he's going to be a
Solid.
free agent.
He's just solid. He's fine.
He's going to be somebody that I think is going to be, he was a throw, not necessarily a throw in, but Oviedo was sent last year to Pittsburgh for Quintana and Stratton. I could see one of those deals. Like, hey, pick up one of our starters, and you also
Trade
get a
him for
reliever.
Oviedo?
Not Oviedo specifically. No, the Pirates wouldn't take Stratton back. I'm talking about a contender. I just used that trade
The Pirates
as an
are a
example.
contender.
They're not a contender. You stop it. They've been terrible. They're bringing up their AAA squad. They just brought up another
They
kid.
had one there to start the season.
Who's that?
The Pirates.
The Oviedo?
No, the whole team was AAA players, and they were winning.
You're thinking of the A's.
All of them.
There's a couple of AAA teams playing Major League
There
Baseball.
are.
Yeah, but you got to completely revamp it.
You have nobody in the bullpen
No.
that's safe.
No, Ryan Helsley for 2 games a week.
Well, right. Hey,
If
you haven't
they're
had 2
spaced
games
out
in
enough.
3 months.
Right. This pitching staff is going to be a blank, damn near a blank slate.
So if you're the Cardinals, do you? I guess the answer is yes. You're shopping for both rotation and bullpen arms at the deadline.
I'm aiming for starters because starters can always be relievers too.
Yeah, but if
That's-
there's a couple of good bullpen arms that you can grab that have upside or even team control out there,
Yeah, no doubt.
you need some guys, to Bradford's point, you need some guys that can pitch some swing and miss.
Mm-hmm.
Too much pitch to contact. We talked about that last week, where the philosophy of pitch to contact has backfired this year. For whatever reason, the shift or the pitch clock or
defense.
whatever, the defense, it's worked against you. You need to get some guys that can miss some bats.
Absolutely.
A couple outliers.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. City SC with another victory over the weekend. They continue to roll. They dismantled Miami over the weekend.
Yeah, take that, Lionel Messi.
Yeah, that guy stinks.
He's terrible.
He'll play
Barely
next
even
week.
noticed him.
Yeah, he was a ghost out there. Number 10, where was he, huh?
Scared.
We'll dive into City SC's latest victory next on 101 ESPN. City SC dominates Messi's new team.
It got messy on Saturday,
Yeah,
Anthony.
it did. Clean sheet for Roman Berkey and the boys. I saw it. Yeah,
By
absolutely.
the way, Roman Berkey with a couple of highlight reel saves again.
right after the
on the
after
goal
first
line.
half.
Do you see that one?
Absolutely.
A little bit of a rebound. He sat there for a second admiring his save until he went, oh, blank.
There's a guy
Got
over
a
there.
close. Then he went the double palm. Mm-hmm. Not today.
I mean, he had a series of saves early in the second half, that being one of them, that, I mean, he makes 2 or 3 a game where you just go, wow, he is special. He is incredibly fun to watch. But the team overall was fantastic. He had a couple of corner goals that they had scored. Our guy Timmy P scored one of them. So Parker's 3 goals. He ties a pretty illustrious list, 4th most goals by a defender in MLS this
Did you
season.
see that goal, too? How
Yeah,
impressive.
incredibly
Comes
impressive.
flying in with the head, the header, as they
Yep.
call it.
And then the other header was
Adeniran.
Adeniran. Thank you.
How about that guy? He was called up that one day, and he's been a force. He's a big dude. He reminds me a lot of Klaus. Like he's not as, I guess, seasoned. He's not as good overall. But I think the high end, the ceiling on this guy is there.
Yeah.
I mean, he scores another goal.
Yeah, he's been impressive. Leuven now has 5 goals off set pieces this season, tying him with a group of players, 4th most set piece goals in the MLS this season. And City SC is 11-0-2 in MLS play when scoring first this year. So the nugget that we gave to our guy, Kyle Hebert, about, hey, why don't you go ahead and tell the coaching staff to score first, that continues to work well for our guys. At some point, Jamie, I wouldn't be shocked if they reach out to have us on the coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be smart.
I think we're honorary coaches by the time playoffs roll around.
Yeah, I think so too.
I wouldn't blame them at all.
Do you guys think they stick with that 3-3-4
I think they have to.
when they get healthy?
Why
When like
wouldn't you?
Klaus comes back, because to me it's not as an aggressive style as they like to play. I don't think it leads to as many breakaways that they like to achieve. From the style that they played initially. I think they had a 4-3-2. There was one time they were playing with a 4-3-2 at one point.
Yeah, well, at one point they had Klaus all alone on an island up front there. They've had a couple of different
They'd
formations.
stack the middle of the pitch. So you think that they stay almost with more of that conservative 3-3-4?
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't. And the reason I say that is because this team thrives off of creating offensive opportunities out of turnovers.
Right.
So if you have more defenders, you have the opportunity to create turnover, and then you have an opportunity to get going upfield.
But you're back more.
You
don't have as many players
but
up
if
front.
you also look at the number of saves that Roman Berkey has had to make throughout the season, he's been the second most active goaltender or goalkeeper, in all of the MLS. And so, therefore, why would you not give him a little bit of a breather and maybe stack the deck backwards towards a goalie, limiting maybe some of the high danger opportunities? If you look at last game in particular, Roman Berkey only had to make 3 saves. He had a clean sheet, made 3 saves. We've had some games this year's 8, 9, 10, 11 shots on goal. It's too much. It's too much for your
but
goaltender.
when you're healthy, though, when you're completely healthy, because you got Leuven back.
Well, if you're completely healthy and you got Klaus back,
what I'm
you got
saying.
everybody. Oh, yeah, I think you can. But here's the beauty of it. I think you can actively kind of change on the fly. So if you have a first half set up one way, you can go with a second half set up a different way. And now you've played both systems throughout the course of your season so far, so it's not that much of an adjustment. The guy that's going to have the biggest adjustment is Klaus. He's missed so much time that this team has changed. Like, it has changed a couple of different times now since his injury, to where when he comes back, he's going to be a great addition, don't get me wrong, but it's going to take him a while to get up to speed here, not just physically, but mentally too. Find out what guys are doing, learning the habits of certain players again, getting to know his teammates. Even though there's training involved, it's never the same as game situation. So I think that Bradley Carnell has an advantage now of playing 2 different ways. Which way do they play? I don't know. That's up for the team that they're playing against to try and figure out. But defensively, they've been stronger, giving up less high-danger opportunities. And I think right now that plays to their advantage.
I almost like the 3-3-4 when they're playing teams that are cautious as well. For example, Miami also was playing the 3-3-4. So they're trying to park the bus in front of their keeper as well. I have felt this way when City has almost, maybe not dominated the possession, but they've had the edge in possession. They lose those games. They have higher scoring opportunities, but they're not the same. They're almost better, City is, at generating golden opportunities off the other team's mistakes. Like, they're a very patient club. So I like the 3-3-4 against other teams that are cautious and just kind of bide your time a little bit. With more aggressive teams, I don't mind if they are healthy, maybe going back to some of the earlier renditions of what they're doing. So and press a little bit more.
Apparently, Anthony, it's called a 4-3-3.
4-3-3, okay.
Apparently, you work your way out from the keeper.
Fair enough. Thank you.
So that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm learning.
I appreciate that.
So it's 4-3-3, not 3-3-4.
It's the same thing,
but
except
it starts
you start with the back end.
Thank you, text line. Okay.
It's always good to start with the back end and work your way up.
No doubt, Jamie. Absolutely.
Another thing here is that apparently earlier on, they were playing a 4-4-2.
And a diamond, right?
Yeah.
Add some geometry to
You're
the
right.
equation.
There you go. Yeah.
A lot of words of wisdom on this show, Anthony.
Absolutely. Yeah. What were they playing earlier? The diamond?
Yeah.
Okay.
The diamond, like Diamond Dallas Page. They give this the formation. They go like this, Anthony. They give the diamond sign.
Gotcha.
Everybody knows what's going on then.
Right.
They know that it's go time.
Not a diamond in the rough, mind you, but on the pitch.
This team, though, one would say, Bradford, that this team has been a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. I think I think that's accurate. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Western Conference leaders, unlike Miami. Goodness gracious, 11 match, you have to say match losing streak now, but hey, at least the coronation took place yesterday. Messi has arrived, and he's at Publix.
How about this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
Too.
he went to
What
Publix
a weird,
first.
what a weird thing to paparazzi about Publix. Guy just wants food.
For those that don't know, Publix is it's Florida's Schnucks.
Schnucks, yeah.
Yeah. It's their main grocery store.
It is. The Kroger down there in Georgia, and they got Publix in Florida.
Kroger is north too.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, that's
I thought that was
Michigan.
Meyer.
Meyer and Kroger are Michigan.
Trust me, Anthony. I know a lot of grocery stores around this country.
I know. I'm sure you do, and other countries too.
Yeah.
Where
Where's
you're buying
Food
horse
Lion?
meat.
Yeah.
Is that a Midwestern thing?
Where's where?
Food Lion?
Oh, I don't know.
Food Lion?
I've never even heard of Food Lion.
The critical issues.
I've never heard of it.
No idea.
Anyways, so
Bradford just threw a curveball at us.
So as Bradford noted, yeah, they welcome in Messi, and this guy better be the second coming of Messi, like in his prime.
Lionel Messi, if you go back to the World Cup that just went by, he's still a force. He's still a force. This guy can still play the damn game. Now, the key is going to be, does he have teammates around him? Because as good as you can be as a soccer player, you need teammates. You can't just take the ball and dangle through everybody the whole time. Like, you can't be Connor McDavid out there. It won't happen. There's a certain element where he can be that guy and get through defenders, but you need guys who can really work the give and go. With a guy like Messi, that's so key. He gives the ball, and then he hits to an open area and gets it back, and he's able to get some opportunity. But he's always a guy that, when you pair him up with good playmakers, he has the most success. So does Inter Milan, do they have that in Miami?
No.
Inter Miami? I have no idea. It doesn't look like it. 11 games in a row, 11 matches.
Miami. They're
And
terrible.
At least here's the Beckham comp again, and I think everybody would agree. I get it that at this stage in his career, Messi has a lot more left in the tank than Beckham did at that time when he went to the Galaxy. However, that team also had the pedigree, wasn't a total wash, which appears to be the case right now with Miami. So you're coming to America, you're trying to revitalize a franchise, but you're right, Jamie, what exactly surrounds him in order for him to make that immediate impact to show exactly how much he has achieved with Argentina?
Well, David Beckham's, at least he had Landon Donovan with the Galaxy. He had at least one other big name on that team, and they had some pretty good pieces where Beckham was able to kind of insert himself and just be a lesser version of himself and still have an impact. This is going to be interesting. Does Lionel Messi have enough in the tank to carry a team in this league? I don't know.
Not that team.
Not that team. No. Doesn't matter, though. He's making a ton of money.
Well, I don't know. LeBron, remember when LeBron won in the NBA Finals with 4 corpses? I mean, he had to drag.
By the way,
he had to drag that gravesite.
I know
around.
we're up against the time, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up LeBron James for a second. Okay,
That's your guy.
No, he's not anymore. I'd started to merge towards LeBron again. Like, I was like, you know what? I read up on him. He's got this school. He's done a lot of great things for kids and raised money and all that. And you're like, I'm getting older, Anthony. Softening up a little bit, a little sentimental. And then LeBron has his ESPY speech about retiring. And he goes, lucky for you all, that time's not now. What? Like he talks about every player has his time. Everybody does, the read notes. Lucky for you all. Like, lucky you guys are going to get to watch me again. LeBron, that was he had the decision that was a disaster, and he just had the ESPY speech / non-retirement speech that was why don't you just say, hey, lucky for me, right now, I've still got the fire in my belly, and hopefully you guys enjoy the ride.
Blame the network that gave him the platform and created an award solely to present to him that night.
They didn't know he was going to do that, though.
That's LeBron. At least it was
Didn't they?
delivered in a very
did.
composed, nice, eloquent way. I'm sorry, you're not going to have me bash on him. I had LeBron actually queued up for later in the show, but for a different reason.
No, listen,
Jamie.
that was a cringeworthy moment. Every person in the building felt a little bleh at the same time as I did.
More cringeworthy than Space Jam 2.
No, probably not, but Space Jam 2 may be a better decision overall.
Jesse Rogers will join us. We'll talk about the MLB trade deadline with him next on 101 ESPN. With former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. 3:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. And joining us right now via our celebrity line is Jesse Rogers from ESPN. He covers Major League Baseball, including the White Sox and the Cubs, for ESPN.com. And he joined us about a month or so ago, and we asked Jesse to come on again as we get close to the deadline. He was gracious enough with his time. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us again. How are you?
Sure thing. I'm doing well. Good afternoon.
So, Jesse, I know that you were just in Seattle to cover Ohtani in the All-Star game. What sense did you get being around Ohtani and being around maybe some decision makers on what Ohtani's immediate future is?
Yeah, I mean, I think the trend is they're going to listen, and they're going to listen intently over the next couple weeks. I think they're going to say the right things publicly until they don't, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think it's going to be, no, he's our guy, we'll never trade him. Maybe they'll lighten that stance soon enough because the Angels are going in the wrong direction here. I think they're going to listen hard. I really do, and I think that there's a good chance he's going to be traded. If Juan Soto could be traded with 2 years to go before free agency, why can't Ohtani with 2 months to go? Unless there's a strategic reason to not trading him because you really think you're going to re-sign him. I get that, and maybe that's at the end of the day what they'll do, because that's the only reason not to trade him. I mean, you're not keeping him because you think you have a shot at anything here. It's going backwards. Trout being out, I talked to an executive, and I'm writing this for ESPN.com tomorrow. Like, Trout being out has helped the decision-making here in a much easier way. It would have been a tough decision with Trout there, the way things were going, but without him, they're just not good enough. They're just not good enough. So I think he's going to get moved unless they know something we don't about the mentality of keeping him, and that gives them the best chance at re-signing him. Inherently, that might be true, but at the end of the day, I'm sure his agent's going to shop him around everywhere.
Jesse, do you see a team trading for him without an extension guaranteed in this situation?
I do. Rarely do you trade and then sign. Now, maybe this guy is the rare exception. Most agents are going to say, if I'm 2 months away from free agency, I'm not going to limit myself to one team. Now, there could be an exception because he is a unicorn. But the bottom line, and look, I've talked to executives that think, if anything, there's a chance he could get moved to a team that could never sign him in free agency. Think of the Rays, okay? They could never sign him in free agency, or would never. So maybe that's the destination more than your usual suspects, because, look, we'll take 2 months of this guy because we'll never get 10 years of him. So there's a lot of factors in there. And I think the Dodgers, I think the Rays, I think the big markets, the small markets, anybody that's interested in him would not limit themselves just because it's a rental. Obviously, they have to have World Series aspirations. You're not trading him to the Cleveland Guardians or Minnesota Twins, who, even if they get him, are a long shot to win it all. So it has to be a World Series contender that's willing to give up the haul for 2 months.
Based on the fact that it's a rental situation, Jesse, what do you think the return is for the Angels? Because obviously if there was some team control after a year left on the contract, the haul could be a lot greater. But if it is a team like the Rays or a Dodgers or a Yankees or whoever that decides to get in the bidding pool for Shohei Ohtani, what does the return look like? Okay,
so it's basically 3 to 5 prospects. Now, one of those 5 could be a major league player on your major league team, right? That's possible. So then it's like 3 to 4 prospects, and it just depends on what level. I mean, you're probably giving up your number 1 prospect and maybe your number 3 prospect, and then one other, and maybe a major league player, something like that. Or maybe you're giving up 2, 3, and 4. So it's like 2 of your top 5 or 3 of your top 10, something of that nature is probably what you're giving up. And again, it just depends on if you're giving them a major league player in addition or not. But pretty much think of the best package you can think of that's reasonable enough for a rental. You know, you're not giving up 7 players for 2 months, but you're giving up 3 to 5. 3 would be top end. 4 or 5 would be okay. Maybe not 1, 2, and 3, but 1, 5, and 7. And I'm talking about prospect rankings of the team giving them up. So think along those lines.
At Jesse Rogers ESPN is where you can follow Jesse Rogers on Twitter. He joins us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jesse, as you can imagine, we've paid attention to the White Sox because it looks like they're going to be selling off some pieces. I think it's interesting that the Cardinals and the White Sox are both almost in the same category. They are intriguing in terms of, nobody really expected them to be here, but they've got some pieces to sell off. Is there any chance they're going to trade Dylan Cease, or is it more likely it's going to be Lucas Giolito, Lance Lynn, and others?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is Lance Lynn and Giolito and any other pending free agents. I mean, the moment you trade Cease, you have to replace them. Well, they already have to replace Giolito and potentially Lynn. Not that they're irreplaceable players, but you can't find 5 new starting pitchers, right? Cease has 2 years left, I believe. They're more likely to trade him in a year. He's a Scott Boras client. I definitely don't see him necessarily signing up long term. But look, if the season had gone south and they had no pending free agents, different story. But Giolito, Lynn, Graveman, maybe Tim Anderson, that's a lot to deal with. And if you want to at all compete in a year, why would you trade Cease? So I don't see Cease. And then there's Clevenger as well, who's up after this year. I don't see Cease going anywhere this year, but I'm not sure I see him long-term for the White Sox either.
So the other team, of course, that you cover is the Chicago Cubs, who are kind of intriguing themselves. They're 43-49. They were the only team in the National League Central, Jesse, as you know, that has a positive run differential, but they're 8 games back of the Brewers. They've got some, Cody Bellinger has been outstanding for them, and he's on a 1-year deal. What do you think the Cubs are going to do at the deadline?
Yeah, they're probably going to move Stroman and Bellinger, but I don't think it's a guarantee. First of all, I think Jed would love, and just like Mozeliak, but he's not getting this either. I think both those guys would love any reason not to sell. I think Jed would love to, take that run differential and turn it into some wins, but time is running out, and I don't think he's going to stand pat or buy if they're under 500. Forget about how far. You can't feel like you're a contender if you're under 500 this late in the season. It happens. I get the Braves a few years ago. The Cardinals won 17 in a row, but you can't bank on it. And you're right. Bellinger has been awesome. And, my God, the Yankees should give up their entire farm system for Bellinger. They need a lefty. Who doesn't need a lefty slugger? Lefty sluggers do not grow on trees. Much different than a right-hander. I always say one lefty's worth 2 good righties, in my opinion. And Stroman's been great as well. But he's got to hit a home run if he trades them in a grand slam, because they do not have any stars in waiting. I would package them both and get some AAA can't miss stud from somebody, because otherwise they're just treading water. I'd love to re-sign Bellinger and put him at first base if I'm the Chicago Cubs, but I don't think Boras is going to listen to offers until he becomes a free agent. So you got to maximize your situation. You probably trade him. But I will say, 14 games left before the break for the Cubs, 13 against under 500 teams, 8 against the Cardinals. Maybe they make a push. If they get to 500 somehow, some way, I think he stands pat, or maybe just adds a left-handed reliever and lets them battle from there. Because I don't think Jed really wants to sell, but if he's forced to, he will, and Bellinger and Stroman at the top of the list.
Jesse, you just mentioned it, 8 games between the Cubs and the Cardinals before the break. And the Cardinals, John Mozeliak, on record stating that, look, he's going to be trading players. Didn't really name names, but we can all make assumptions as to who those guys might be. If the Cardinals look to move both a Jordan Montgomery and a Jack Flaherty, what do you think a good return is for guys like that?
Yeah, look, we see this all the time, the 2-month rental that isn't Shohei Ohtani, right? These are more normal. It's like put Lucas Giolito in the same class as Montgomery. I haven't been the biggest Flaherty fan since the injuries hit, but he's had some ups and downs. You're looking at maybe a couple prospects, not a 1, 2, or 3 in your system, in the other team's system. You're looking at like a number 5 or a 7 and a 10, something like that. Maybe a little bit more for Montgomery because he's left-handed. That's kind of what you're looking at. The Cubs traded David Robertson last year. Not exactly premier closer, but a decent closer. And they got Ben Brown from the Philadelphia Phillies. He was the Phillies' 26th ranked prospect. They got Ben Brown. Now he's one of the better Cubs prospects, not because the Cubs system is bad, because Ben Brown has advanced. So, you think of these deals at the time, he's not a big name, but you never know. You never know. and you just don't get a number one prospect for Jordan Montgomery, right? For 2 months of Jordan Montgomery, you get a number 7 or a 5 or an 8 or 2 guys in the top 15. That's the kind of thing you get for those kinds of pitchers with 2 months to go.
Jesse, great stuff as always. We appreciate your time. We know you're a man in demand right now when it comes to the MLB trade deadline, so we appreciate it. And I loved your take on the Rays when it comes to Ohtani. That's very interesting. So thanks again. Enjoy the deadline. Enjoy the rest of the second half.
You got it, guys. Take care.
You
Be
too.
well.
Thanks. That's Jesse Rogers. Again, at Jesse Rogers, ESPN. I didn't think about it. He's right, though. I mean,
he's absolutely right. I never thought about it.
The Rays are never going to get Ohtani. They're never going to spend that.
Prospects.
They have nothing but prospects. You've been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball since opening day. Why not?
Woof.
You get Ohtani, and assuming that he can stay healthy, and he's had a couple of short outings recently because of some back tightness, but they have Shane McClanahan. I always want to speed through that name real quick, Jamie, and I screw it up a lot. Mm-hmm. So let me slow down here. Shane McClanahan. McClanahan.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You pair him with Ohtani at the top, and then you put Ohtani in that lineup, which is not great, but
Anthony,
it's solid.
There are 24 games above 500. I'd say the lineup's doing okay.
Let me say this. The lineup is very good. It lacks that star power, which is not a big deal, but, I mean, you got a Rosarina, of course. You've got, if you put him in there with Ohtani, Diaz,
if you're going
Paredes,
to do it, this is the year.
Brandon Lau gets healthy
This
again.
is the year. The Yankees are mid. The Blue Jays are up and down and all around. Mm-hmm. The Orioles are a surprise team, but they lack the pitching necessary to do any real damage. I'm sure they're going to go look to get that at the deadline. The Central, well, that's the Central. And then the West has the Rangers and the Astros. Like, if you're the Rays, this is the year to go get Ohtani and maybe another piece at the deadline. Because you'll be back to the bottom of the league in payroll next year.
Right. And, I mean, this is the time.
Yeah.
This is the time to do it. And I shorted Wander Franco, of course. Wander Franco's a star.
How dare you?
I like it. I like the idea. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN NFL 4 Downs next. You know what that sound means. Time to play the lineup game. And multiple people have told us to pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch, yeah.
On this lineup.
Woof.
Jamie, let's not let others deter us, okay?
Okay.
Let's just do our thing. We're going to be great at this lineup. I believe it in my soul.
Okay, let's do it. Who's on the bump for the
I
Marlins
appreciate
again?
you being fired up. Jesus Luzardo, who is a lefty.
He's a lefty. Well, I know one guy that's not playing.
Gorman. I know two that's not playing then.
Burleson.
I don't think Donovan's leading off either.
Oh, wow. Oh, let's go then, Anthony. Let's party.
All right, so if Donovan isn't hitting, if he's not leading off, and Tommy Edman obviously is still out, then I think this is DC.
Really?
Who else bats lead off?
I think he rolls Donovan anyways.
Okay, let's do it. Whoa, Bradford.
Bradford. Anthony, tell him.
We got to say, show us.
Premature. I got excited.
Premature rejection.
You were so excited to reject us.
Oh, I think somehow he's sending a message to me there. I barely got it out. Whoa.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, hold on. That didn't count then.
That doesn't count. Yeah,
that wasn't official.
We got a mulligan on that
Show us Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let me write down DC here. All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
We're 1 for 1 here, officially.
Yeah, I mean, technicality, but...
What do you think here?
I think this is Paul Goldschmidt.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
Bradford's been playing around with it.
That was Yukon Cornelius.
Love that Rudolph stop motion.
Do I ever? Let's go.
Yukon Cornelius.
There's gold in them there hills.
What a name. Yukon Cornelius.
That's his name.
Shout out to Jason Mott.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've seen the claymation Rudolph.
I mean, it's been a while.
The guy who goes with the pickaxe. He protects him against the abominable snowman.
Oh.
That guy's Yukon Cornelius.
That's his name?
Yes, it is.
I might change my name to Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Stalter.
It's incredible. All right. So this, I don't think it's Newt.
Why wouldn't it be?
Left-hander versus I don't think he's playing the lefties.
Well, okay, so who would it be here? Contreras? Or is he even playing?
Yeah, I think it's either...
Or is it Arenado?
It's either Contreras or Arenado.
I don't think it's Arenado. I think he keeps him at cleanup. I think this is Big Willie.
Go for it.
Show us that Big Willie Contreras.
This one goes out to all the big willies.
They be like, feel me?
Yes.
What? No!
Swerve.
He's playing with our emotions.
Bradford, that's how people get in fights in this studio.
Wow.
Hey, I've seen Anthony croll over the desk before. It ain't pretty.
It's happened.
It's not graceful, but wow.
Well, I'm angry at the time.
Yeah, I mean, throw Grace out the window. No offense to Grace.
She's a lovely woman.
Beautiful woman.
Somewhere there's a Grace listening right now. Thank you. All right. Then this is Arenado.
Okay, sure.
All right, Bradford. Show us Nolan Arenado. There we go.
Wow.
I can't believe he played the clip and then dumped it on us.
That was brutal. That was like thinking you got, the hole in one and like the frog jumps out of the hole and takes the ball with it.
Yep.
I've had that happen.
Have you?
No.
Is this Contreras then? Hitting cleanup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do we get the Big Willie song again? I hope so.
I hope so.
All right. Show us Wilson Contreras.
This one goes out to all the big
reversed it.
willies.
All right.
I love it.
All right, fifth then. I think this is Walker. I think this is Walk It Like It's Hot.
Sure. Go ahead.
Show us Walk It Like It's Hot.
Now walk it out. 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 Now walk it out.
I almost started writing down Walker, but then I remember how
you gotta be
Bradford
careful.
likes to do things.
Bradford comes in with a sucker punch from the left wing there. All
Okay.
right. So now I'm completely confused.
So Gorman had a huge weekend. Donovan had a huge weekend, but we're talking about two left-handers. So I don't know. Who else? Well, let's start piecing together things here. Goldschmidt first, Arenado. You only got one outfielder. No, Jordan Walker probably is in the outfield too. Here's my question to you. We saw Andrew Kisner catching yesterday. Do we see Ivan Herrera catch today?
Not at the 6th spot. I could see it happening at 8.
Okay.
That's my thoughts on it.
All right. Well,
This offense has not been broken. So let's remember that. Like, although Ollie is screwing with it more than I would have, this offense has not been broken recently. It's been pretty good. The fact that your pitching has stumbled and your defense has stumbled, that's not the offense's fault.
Correct.
So, that being said, I don't know.
I was waiting. I'm like, there's going to be some reveal here.
I thought I had something too, but then I was like, because I was going to go with Carlson, but I realized he's batting leadoff.
Yeah.
Paul DeYoung? No. He's a 7-hole guy.
Okay. I mean, Nolan
Donovan?
Nolan Gorman.
Yeah. Gorman has been hot here.
Why don't we go Gorman? If it's not Gorman, then I don't think there's lefties in this lineup.
Sure.
Let's use this as
this is our
intel.
guy. He has been one of the hottest left bats in the lineup, so let's party.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Jeez, Bradford had that thing locked and loaded, didn't he? Not even any suspense, just right in your face.
So, Jamie, I don't think there's any left-handers. I mean it.
All right, so then who we got here?
DeYoung.
At 6?
What, I mean, who else
You know
are you
what,
going to put in
Anthony? Why not?
there? Show us Paul DeYoung.
Yo, Paulie!
Nice.
All right.
All right. Now I'm stumped.
Now I think it's If you're banning all left-handed bats, I'm confused.
So Donovan.
I think this is Gorman.
Gorman.
Who the hell's playing second base for you right now? It's got to be Gorman or Donovan playing second base, and Donnie's hurt, and Edmonds hurt. This is Nolan Gorman. Bradford, show us Nolan Gorman. I was so excited there too.
You almost try to force feed that.
I did. Well, sometimes you have to.
No.
All right.
I mean,
who's playing second base for us today? Is Brendan Donovan going to play in the field?
I don't know if he's in the lineup.
I know, but who is your second baseman?
I don't know.
But you have to answer that because
I don't know.
Do you have a DH yet? Is it Contreras? Is Herrera playing 8? Like, this is what I'm talking about. You need to somehow figure out these positions. The only one you haven't said.
I realize that.
Listen to me. You're taking me off right now.
Wow.
Just doing that. Breathing. Stop. Brendan Donovan almost has to be in this lineup.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know if he goes in here, though. Maybe he's 9th. I don't know. Show us Brendan Donovan.
You're wrong.
I thought I'd really worked that one out.
I don't know. I think
Ivan Herrera.
You're just going to start that.
That's it.
All
I'm
right.
swinging. I'm just swinging now. Show us Andrew Kisner.
It actually is Herrera. I'm just going to reveal it. Yes. I was running out of effects. I mean, my goodness, this is one of the most topsy-turvy lineups we've seen all season.
So it is Herrera.
It is confirmed, yes.
Okay. So when I get in those modes, I just get irrational, okay? Like, that's kind of my life story. I get frustrated and I just get rational, Anthony.
You yell at me for doing the same thing.
Yeah, but it's way different.
I don't think so.
It's way different.
Okay, so Herrera is now your catcher. We know that Contreras is your DH. So at least we found that. So we still need a second baseman.
It's Brendan Donovan. Who the hell else plays second base apart from Gorman, Edman, and Donovan?
I don't know who else is on the roster at this point. They just designated Génesis Cabrera, so maybe somebody got brought up.
They would have announced that, Anthony.
Well, we haven't been checking Twitter.
Well, we can't because the lineup's out. Get off of Twitter right now.
I'm not on Twitter. Is Jose Fermin still on the roster?
There's no way. What are we showcasing, old Fermi?
Who else is going to play second base?
I don't know.
All right, fine, go.
Who?
I don't know.
Show me Brendan Donovan. Son of a. Now,
Show us Jose Fermin.
8-hole.
Okay,
What did you call
Bradford,
me?
you do not need to be. Okay.
What'd you
hey,
call
we're
me?
trying our best. You don't need to be calling us names.
Why do you call you an a-hole?
I don't know.
The bet is running out.
Well,
Show us.
You know what? Cue it up again.
Lars Newbar.
Son of a bitch.
yeah.
He's playing second base. No, he's not. All right.
Don't let go.
I
right,
think this
now
is Brendan
Donovan.
Donovan. Now,
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you act like, now Brendan Donovan.
Well,
like you had any
reached
freaking
9.
idea.
We've reached 9 here.
Screw you. Show me Brendan Donovan. See, Anthony?
No, you see. Show us Jose Fermin. Yeah.
Come on. What?
Yes.
Oh, Fermi?
We have to run this one, don't we?
I guess.
I have no idea.
I
who's
have no
playing
idea what's
where.
going on.
Ooh, all right. Well, leading off in Manning center field, we've got Dylan Carlson, followed by the big fundamental Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Nolan Arenado, your third baseman, and batting third, poor imitation.
I like
Wilson
it.
Contreras is the designated hitter and cleanup man this evening. Jordan Walker in right field. Paul DeYoung, your shortstop, batting 6th. Ivan Herrera, catcher behind the plate, number 7. Lars Nootbaar batting 8th. And Jose Fermin is that guy at the Keystone and batting 9th.
Old Fermi.
That was awful.
I thought we did well.
Wow. You're...
What I just saw.
Well, hopefully we're a little better at picking home run hitters in their lineup.
Yeah. Go ahead. Bradford, you're our guest. Go for it.
Oh, there goes the mic. Well, on Friday evening, guys, I had an inclination to go with Paul DeYoung. Didn't exactly pan out for me, but on this occasion, with so many surprises in the lineup, up and down the order against Luzardo, the southpaw for the Marlins, I like Jordan Walker in the spot. Had a quiet weekend, but the recipe, it just seems ripe for him to elevate a heater. So give me Jordan Walker jaywalking around those bases this evening.
All right.
I like that.
Jamie.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Well, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with Nolan Arenado here recently. But he hit one yesterday, didn't he? Again?
Yes.
He's been knocked
Off the Dobbs sign.
Yeah, he did.
By the
I'm
way, our
gonna go
podcast
with,
brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Nolan Arenado for me.
All right. Jamie, there's another play you can't go wrong with at this
I already know
point.
where you're going.
It's Big Willie style. 19 for
I
37.
thought you were going Jose Fermin.
Yeah, he's hitting too far. He's going to hit a home run. He's just too far down the lineup. Wilson Contreras, 19 for 37, 514, 6 doubles, 3 ding-dong Johnsons, 6 ribbies in his last 11 games. So give me Wilson Contreras, please. All right, we got news on Génesis Cabrera that we'll get to next on 101 ESPN.
Michaelis gets the ball for game 95. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In a little over 3 hours downtown, the Cardinals clash with the Marlins in the opener of a 3-game series. St. Louis conquered Washington yesterday 8-4 and captured 2 of 3 from the worst team in the National League East. Miles Michaelis faced the Nats on Friday, albeit for just 3 innings due to rain. He's back out there at 6:45, opposed by Jesus Luzardo. Spanning the Central, Milwaukee is idle after snaring first place from Cincinnati over the weekend. The Reds aim to recover from that sweep in a home bout versus San Francisco. This SportsCenter update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Bradford Bruns with an outstanding SportsCenter update.
Except.
No, never mind.
No. That
you
part.
did fine.
Yeah.
Can we discuss the ricochet on that one? Bradford, go back and, if you can, summarize who did the Cardinals beat yesterday?
The Nationals.
And what are they?
From the nation's capital.
They're the worst team in the NL East, I think is what you said. It's true. I know it's true. It just struck me funny. He's like, Cardinals with a victory over the Washington Nationals, worst team in the
Spinster.
It was perfect.
I mean, it was factual. It hit me where I was like, that's funny. That was funny.
All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Some news. We talked about Génesis Cabrera earlier, who was DFA'd by the Cardinals, and we just started to, I won't put this on you guys, I started to speculate recklessly what could happen, because to me, you don't DFA a 26-year-old left-hander who can throw gas, who's been very good for you this year, unless you went into the manager's office and, just verbally accosted Dolly or something.
Something. Listen,
something happened.
Let's just say they have history of clashing.
They do.
And when you're not a superstar and you clash with the manager more than once, you're a problem child at that point. And if that is the case, this explains a lot.
I would think so.
But they do have 7 days to trade him still.
Okay, so that's the DFA rule. So they place him, they put him on waivers. If he's claimed, they still have 7 days to trade him.
Correct.
Derek Gould, of course, of STLtoday.com, tweeted out 7 minutes ago that Génesis Cabrera's gear has been cleared out. He's been removed from the roster, so DFA, following a discussion with management this weekend. Team had explored trade interest in him. What does that sound like to you, Jamie? You were a professional athlete.
Yeah,
they cleared him out, cleared out the locker, removed from the roster, had a discussion with management.
That means there was some kind of a disagreement. Most of the time verbally. I have seen some pushing and shoving in the past that have happened where guys are cleared out quickly. This just screams to me that there was a disagreement over something. Either the use of the player or maybe the effort being put in by the player, or maybe the player criticizing the manager's strategy. I don't know. It means to me that they did not see eye to eye, and the winning person in this one is always management. If management sides with the manager, then the player's gone. And let's just be honest, is Génesis Cabrera worth undercutting your manager if that's what will happen?
No.
He's not.
No.
If this was...
This is bad timing.
If this was a Nolan Arenado or a Paul Goldschmidt and they had a verbal disagreement with whomever from the front office, whether it's Ollie or Dusty Blake or John Mozeliak, you're probably going to tolerate that discussion, we'll call it, more than if it's somebody that you can move on from.
Right. Even when your bullpen and your pitching staff, by and large, stinks.
And someone did ask me, didn't you once fire a puck at Mike Babcock? Yes, I did. And do you know what happened to that player?
You got traded.
He got traded later that day.
Yeah.
But that's why I did it.
To be traded.
Yeah. I skated off the ice and said, if that doesn't get me traded, nothing will.
Is that when they sent you to Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when Ken Holland MF'd me on the phone for forcing his hand. He wasn't happy about it. I said, Kenny, I love you. said, I love you too, man. He didn't say that, but that's okay.
You're a coyote.
I could hear it through him, his voice.
Yeah, sure. Tyler O'Neill is also not active today, according to Derek Gould, though that decision is coming in the next few days. Apparently, Tyler O'Neill's drawing closer and closer to coming back. Ryan Tepera, everybody. He once received an MVP vote, according to Derek Gould, will be joining the club to take Génesis Cabrera's spot.
Well, Tepe, huh?
Yeah, active today, per Mozeliak.
What kind of player is Tepe, Anthony?
Not a good one.
Why do you say that? He had a great year once, I heard.
Yeah, once.
Earlier this season didn't exactly light the world on fire with the Halos.
What's the ERA?
7.23.
Okay.
7 Vulture wins in 2017 with the Jays.
Okay. 7-something ERA. Jamie, as you would say?
Oh, it fits right in.
That's correct. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, the Cardinals and the Marlins tonight. Jesus Luzardo versus Miles Michaelis. 6:45 start time at Busch Stadium. Now we'll do a 4-pack for the NFL. 4 downs. 4-pack of 4 downs.
Until it's Monday.
Yeah. Until it's been a long year for the Cardinals. And
a long week for you, Anthony.
No doubt. NFL 4 downs. Show on ESPN. So for those that are just joining us, we just discussed this, but about 15 minutes ago, Derek Gould tweeted out that Génesis Cabrera's gear had been cleared out. He's been removed from the roster, DFA'd, following a discussion with management this weekend. Jamie and I have speculated that it was more of a heated debate than a discussion. But again, that's just speculation on our part. Team had explored trade interest in him, according to Derek Gould. So Génesis Cabrera, he gone. Oh, Tepe is in with his 7+ ERA. Ryan Tepera will be joining the club, and he's active. Tyler O'Neill not active today, though that discussion.
He was active.
Well, he was active on the field. Yeah, just not from a roster standpoint, Jamie.
Quite
Thanks
honestly,
for the
he looks like a
clarification.
pretty active guy overall.
He's in great shape, isn't he? I'll tell you what, if I'm a contender, I want this guy on my roster.
Who?
Old T.O. He could bench press a house.
He can.
He had an MVP season, Gold Glove winner. I'd give up the bleeping farm for this guy.
I like your sales pitch.
If I'm Tampa, I'm calling the Cardinals right now and saying, hey, you activate our guy T.O., and let's talk trade.
I don't think the Rays are going to go kicking on those.
If you're the Dodgers and you've been starting Jason Hayward and somebody named James Outman in the outfield, you don't want an Outman to be playing in the outfield. You know what I mean?
Totally get it, Anthony.
You want a T.O. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
I'm selling the Dodgers.
Can we just
on
get
Tyler.
to NFL 4 downs,
I'm
please?
selling the Dodgers on Tyler O'Neill. Okay.
I'd rather talk football, though. Let's go.
You know how to speak to my heart, don't you?
I know. Let's
Go
go.
ahead, Bradford.
First down.
I like your subtle segue, T.O. I see what you did there. Let's talk
Wasn't
running.
even trying it.
Let's talk running backs,
the
though.
problem.
Today, 3 p.m. our time, it was the deadline, actually, to apply franchise tags to a collection of different individuals around the league. Saquon Barkley.
How'd it go?
Well, still seeking that long-term deal from the Giants. After all, they gave one to Daniel Jones a couple of months ago. Now, coming off of the first playoff win for the G-Men since the Super Bowl a while ago, let's just put it mildly that way. Does ownership really dare play chicken here? I mean, this is a guy who last year accounted for roughly 30% of that team's offense. He is the engine. He is the fulcrum. Jones still with just a barely above average passing season. Are we playing with fire here if you're New York?
Oh, 100%. But if you're Saquon Barkley, do you really want to sit in? Is that what they call it now? Sit in? You saw what Le'Veon Bell did, right? He missed the entire season with the Steelers, held out, wind up being released because they figured out that James Conner at that point was a better option, a cheaper option than bringing back Le'Veon Bell. And Le'Veon Bell, after getting his deal with the Jets, recently, this year, like the last, month or so, said that he regretted the decision to not work it out with the Steelers and hold out and miss a whole year. So if you're Saquon Barkley and you've missed a ton of time, you're coming off a good year. You would think that would have parlayed you into great success. Other than that, I mean, what's your market? The Vikings just released Dalvin Cook, who's still out there. So yes, they are playing chicken to your question, Bradford, but I don't know what option that Barkley has at this point.
So let me ask you something here. I saw somewhere, I'm trying to find it right now, and in today's day and age with the Twitter verification process the way it is, it's tough to tell what's real and what's fake, Anthony. But somebody had posted here that Saquon Barkley looking to reach an extension deal following the deadline. Why would he wait till after this deadline?
Well, you could sign an extension.
Is there some kind of a rule in place? There has to be a certain contract, or I don't know.
He may have. Now, was it 3:00 Central Time, right, Bradford? That was the
Yes.
in terms of signing the franchise tag. He may have. I mean, he could sign it at any point. You could sign it and then report. So, I think that because Le'Veon Bell had he could have signed it. He waited out. I think if he waited till 10 weeks in or 12 weeks in, then he could have came back and signed it. But I'm sure Barkley is just trying to figure out an opportunity. Like, okay, I'll wait a little bit here. I was still intention of signing the deal, but I would like to continue to talk about a contract extension. That would be my guess on that.
Okay.
second down.
I'll take your word for it, man.
Speaking of upper echelon running backs, gentlemen, Joe Mixon just restructured his deal to remain a Bengal. Now, he had a bang-up showing in that AFC divisional round game against the Bills. Overall, though, the production dipped last fall. T. Higgins, tenuous status after the 2023 season. Is it possible that the current Cincinnati core, as currently constituted, is maybe going on its last ride?
100%. Yeah, because they're going to sign Joe Burrow. They're going to sign Jamar Chase. Yes, this will be the in terms of the current core. Yes, this is it. Now, Joe Mixon. I think if I'm the Bengals, my biggest concern is that Samaje Perine, of all players, who was not great in Washington, he shows up in Cincinnati. He was the guy that was the tough runner last year. He was the guy if they needed between the tackles running some tough yards. It was Samaje Perine, not Joe Mixon. And I know that Mixon had that, like you said, Bradford had the big game against in the AFC divisional round in Buffalo. But they're going to need a short yardage back to take over now that Samaje Perine is gone.
Because that game was the aberration for him down the stretch in 2022.
Yes, absolutely. He had not been great. But, yeah, absolutely. I mean, T. Higgins, you're going to be able to sign all these guys. T. Higgins, who's subject to some trade rumors this offseason, they're going to have to figure out what to do with him at some point because they're not going to be able to re-sign him. Once you pay Joe Burrow, once you pay Jamar Chase, they watch two safeties go out the door this offseason because they know they're going to pay Burrow. So that's tough. Good luck, Bengals.
Third down.
DeAndre Hopkins ultimately, it would seem, rebuffing the Patriots' overtures. He's settling on Tennessee as his next destination. So the perennial All-Pro, he escapes Arizona in a matter of speaking, but now is poised to catch passes from Tannehill, Will Levis. So, yay?
What does he do? Why would he go to the Titans, Anthony?
I don't know.
Like, I don't think the Patriots are a much better team overall.
No.
But he's going to be the guy.
Yeah. You better hope if you're the Titans that Treylon Burks is a stud. He's going into his second year because you're going to need somebody to work opposite of Hopkins because you need defensive coordinators to say, we can go one-on-one with Hopkins. That's when he wins. He's not going to run past you. But if you don't have somebody on the other side, I mean, you're going to have some big-time issues. So he goes there. Ryan Tannehill's coming off an injury-plagued, unproductive year. Malik Willis might get cut at some point, and Will Levis can't throw.
Yeah, they got a lot of unproven arms under center.
Yeah. So you better hope, if you're Hopkins, for a bounce-back year from Tannehill, or you're going to be doing a lot of blocking when Will Levis is in there.
Well, does having Derrick Henry help DeAndre Hopkins? Does it help him get open?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, because you got eight guys in the box.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if he looked at that and thought to himself, there'll be more opportunity for me because so many teams are geared up for the run.
Yeah. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's no Derrick Henry, but he's a stud too. So if you look at it from New England's standpoint, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
To your point, Anthony, Mike Vrabel, the man at the helm there, has more career NFL touchdowns than any other vertical threat on the roster.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. And Mike Vrabel, of course, is a linebacker. So, not great.
Good point. Good
How
coach,
many does he have, two?
Actually, he was flirting with double digits.
Really?
Shocking stuff, yeah.
Look at Mike Vrabel.
I like him.
And Bill Belichick, he'll use you anyway.
Yeah, he will.
And then he'll cut you.
Fourth down.
That's the way it works.
Speed round here. Tyreek Hill.
Your next player.
Tyreek Hill on his podcast. He's guaranteeing us a 2,000-yard receiving season, gentlemen. Lofty aspirations, yes, but you have to say that the Dolphins, when healthy at least, Tua's status notwithstanding, boast one of the most explosive attacks in the NFL. Can you picture any star reaching such unprecedented territory in this pass-happy era?
No. I think Calvin Johnson has the most receiving yards by a wide receiver in a season, and that was set in 2012. But you think about the firepower that Miami has with Jalen Waddle, and they've got, maybe they're the team that signs Dalvin Cook. They moved on from Mike Gesicki, the tight end. Not that they're using him a whole bunch, but that offense is designed to spread the football around. I think Tyreek Hill will still post good numbers, but I don't think he's going to get to 2,000. mean, Calvin Johnson was it for the Lions. It was like Matthew Stafford. Anytime they had a pass, Matthew Stafford just threw it up to him.
Yeah. If they're giving him that many passes, like I just have a hard time believing that you can do that without other teams just, I don't know, figuring it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like what's his highest pass yard?
Tyreek Hill?
Receiving yards in his season.
That's fine.
Because if he didn't get them while playing with the Chiefs, when they had Travis Kelce as a distraction and Patrick Mahomes as a running distraction,
yeah.
how the hell is he going to get it with the Dolphins?
He had 1,700 yards last year.
17.
Woof.
He had 1,400. The most he had with Kansas City was 1,400.
He had
Almost
1,700
1,500
last year?
Yeah, 1,700 last year.
300 yards is still a lot to get.
Yeah. Now, this is an extra year, though. Or extra game, excuse me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that, you factor that in. But no, I don't think.
What's going on with his legal battle right now? Because
That's fine.
He's still in trouble for punching some guy in the face at a fishing dock or something.
Guys shouldn't have been standing there.
Well, you never know.
Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, are you currently paying way too much for your ED meds? I bet you are. Unless you head over to the medicine shop in St. Charles where they have the generic called sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required. And if you need anything from the pharmacy, quite honestly, just head over. They got a beautiful facility, and you walk in, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. And whether it is your allergies that are acting up, maybe you got a little cough and cold, or maybe you twisted your ankle, or you need some first aid ointment or a Band-Aid, they've got you. Everything there, just ask them. They're going to answer all your questions, and they're going to take great care of you. They also have, in my opinion, one of the best services around, and that is free discreet shipping and delivery of medicines to your home or your workplace. And what that means is if you've got some wonky hours, or you're busy, or the kids have activities, and it's just really tough to get to the pharmacy throughout your day or your week, they've got you covered. They'll deliver it to your home or your workplace, and you don't have to worry about it. That's all thanks to the medicine shop in St. Charles. So please get there, visit them in person. You're going to love the pharmacy and love the staff. But if you can't do that, get there online at stcharles.pharmacy. That's stcharles.pharmacy.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Jamie Rivers and Bradford Bruns filling in for Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and Mark is back for round 2. He beat me on Friday, and we told him that with Marsh gone, his options, they're limited. He's just going to be Jamie today. So, Mark, welcome back to the show. You ready to take on Jamie?
Hey, what's up, Anthony, Bradford? Oh, hey, Jamie.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
All right,
He did the
buddy.
old hey, Jamie thing.
All right, buddy
I like
boy.
that. All right, so you're in his dome already.
I love Jamie. I never got to meet him or talk to him, but playing for the Blues the way he did, he's my kind of guy.
Oh, I appreciate that. Buttering me up, huh? All right. Well, good luck, my friend.
See ya.
All right, Jamie's going to make his way into the code of silence. Mark, you're going to tell Bradford to spin that wheel, and then we're going to see what category you get today. So go ahead, Mark.
All right, Bradford, go ahead and spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Mark?
Well, I got you with football, so it's probably hockey with Jamie. That's the way I roll.
I like your confidence. We have...
How about that?
Wow. Is that back-to-back football? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so we got football again.
All right.
Hey, you won on Friday, so maybe football is your category here. So Bradford's going to give me the launch codes, and then we're going to play. All right, here we go. Mark, are you ready?
Yes, Anthony.
Okay. Thank you. Question number 1. Who was the Indianapolis Colts running back when they won the Super Bowl in 2006? Who was the Indianapolis Colts running back when they won the Super Bowl in 2006?
Oh, my gosh. I can see it, but I can't. I'm gonna need the options. I can't think of his name.
All right, no problem. Was it Donald Brown, Edgerrin James, or Joseph Adai?
Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James, sorry.
No,
Very
that's all right.
good.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2. Deshaun Jackson played 8 campaigns with the Philadelphia Eagles. Following his first stint in the city of brotherly love, he played for which team for 3 seasons?
And which player is this? I'm sorry.
Deshaun Jackson.
I need the options on that.
Okay. Option number 1, Tampa Bay Bucks. Number 2, Baltimore Ravens. And number 3, the Washington Redskins at the time.
Let's go with the Ravens.
Final answer?
Final answer, sorry, yeah.
That's all right. All right, Mark, question number 3. What college did Randy Moss play for? What college did Randy Moss play for?
No idea. Options, please.
Houston, USC, or Marshall?
I'm gonna say Houston. Final answer.
Okay, Mark, let's finish in style. Tell me, what team defeated Clemson 31-14 this past season in the Orange Bowl?
Oh boy, Orange Bowl. No, I need the options. Let's see. Before you give me the options, let me just try to think about Orange Bowl. Is where they're at in their category. So, who would they play? No, give me the options.
Okay, maybe it doesn't have the cachet it once did. Option 1, Texas A&M. Option 2, Florida. And number 3, Tennessee.
I won't say the Volunteers, but let's go with Florida. That's Seminoles, right?
No, that's Gators.
Oh, it's the Gators. Yeah, let's go with Florida Gators. Final answer.
All right. All right, we'll bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. Mark, how you feeling?
I feel like I got them all wrong.
Okay, well, you never know. Jamie on a hop there.
A little bit.
Sprinting.
Look at you.
A little bit of a limp, though, Anthony. We'll get into that later.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Is that an on-air story?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, the first part of it. Yeah.
fair enough. All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Well, you better pack a lunch.
Yes.
Your category is football.
I love football, Anthony.
Yeah, you do. Question number 1. Who was the Indianapolis Colts running back when they won the Super Bowl in 2006? Who was the Indianapolis Colts running back when they won the Super Bowl in 06?
I know this, but I can't think of it right now. Was it Edgerrin James in 06? Give me the options, please.
Donald Brown, Edgerrin James, Joseph Adai.
Gut feeling. Give me Edgerrin James, please. Final answer.
Jamie, Deshaun Jackson played 8 seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles. After his first stint in Philly, he played for which team for 3 seasons?
Deshaun. Okay. Options, please.
We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the then Washington Redskins.
I'll go with the Washington, then Redskins. Final answer.
Question number 3, Jamie.
Yeah.
Which college did Randy Moss attend? Who did Randy Moss play for?
Marshall. What?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's where he was drafted from. Marshall. Final answer.
0 hesitation.
Who's their mascot?
The Mountaineer.
No. Good.
Number 4. What squad defeated Clemson 31-14 this past college football season in the Orange Bowl?
Oh, yeah. College football. Can't get enough.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, it is.
SEC Media Days.
So Clemson lost to, why do I want to say Alabama? I don't know why I want to say that, but give me the options.
We have Texas A&M, University of Florida, and Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Okay, well, good. Good thing I don't want to say Alabama. Clemson lost to. This is a tough one, Anthony. This is the one I feel that can break me. Although I have no idea how Mark did. Clemson. Who the hell did they lose to? Texas A&M. Tennessee. I feel like it was a battle of the oranges. I'll go Tennessee. Final answer.
In the Orange Bowl.
I feel like it was.
Yeah. All right, let's go over these. Who was the Indianapolis Colts running back when they won the Super Bowl in 2006? Mark, you said, I can't think of his name. You heard the options. Then you went with Edgerrin James. Jamie, you said Edgerrin James. And then you said, I better get those options. Then landed on Edgerrin James. Correct answer is?
Joseph Adai.
Joseph Adai is the correct answer. So we got a 0-0 tie between Mark and Jamie. Deshaun Jackson played 8 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. Following his first stint in Philly, he played for which team for 3 seasons? Mark, you took the options. You went with the Baltimore Ravens. Jamie, you took the options. You went with the then Washington Redskins. Correct answer is?
Jamie's on the board. Redskins.
1-0 lead for Jamie.
Yes.
What college did Randy Moss play for? Mark, you took the options. You went with Houston, who are the Cougars.
Yeah, they are.
Jamie, you did not take the options. You got a little confused.
I
Not
didn't get
really.
confused.
You actually
You
said
looked at me.
Marshall.
Weird.
Well, I was waiting for you to say final answer.
I actually felt like he was trying to deter me from the right answer.
It was a gray area.
What?
Thank you.
Correct
Redford.
answer is?
We are the Thundering Herd.
There you go. Marshall.
Marshall.
Moss
Jamie's
and
got it.
Jason Williams. That was a fun time.
There you go. Jamie with a 3-0 lead over Mark. Final question. Which team defeated Clemson 31-14 this past season in the Orange Bowl? Mark, you took the options. You went with Florida. Jamie, you took the options. You went the all-orange Orange Bowl, Clemson, Tennessee. Tennessee. Correct answer is?
Not sure if this verdict even matters anymore, but the Volunteers.
Matters to Jamie. Mark.
Yeah.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Mark, you did not feel good about it. You thought you didn't get any right. And guess what, my friend? You're on the board. You did not get any right, except for that. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, it's great playing with you guys, man. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks
Appreciate
for
it,
listening.
Mark.
Thanks
Have
for
a good
playing.
one, buddy.
Same.
Jamie, nice job, man. 4-0. You clean sheet, Mark.
My brain was like, as soon as I thought of Tennessee, I was like, wait, they have like the same colors. And I remember there was a big battle, but I did not put the Orange Bowl together. But
You got the old hamster on the wheel here. Who did Alabama play in the bowl game last year? Because they weren't in the college football playoff.
no, I don't know.
You had Michigan versus TCU, and then you had Ohio State versus Georgia.
That didn't go well.
That was close. The Georgia
TCU.
As my co-host Jamie Rivers would say, TCU finished third that night.
They did.
They ran roughshod over K-State, which will be taking on Mizzou in a matter of months.
Alabama K-State was the bowl game.
K-State, what are they? The Cougars?
No, they're the Wild
Tigers.
They're the Wild.
I knew there was a cat.
Sugar Bowl, gentlemen.
This is the Sugar Bowl. Okay, thank you, Bradford. It's Fastlane on 101 to ESPN. Let's talk a little bit about the catching situation for the Cardinals. You've got Wilson Contreras, you got Ivan Herrera, who's starting tonight. Wilson Contreras is the DH, and then Andrew Kisner's back, and Kisner played yesterday. How is this going to go with this catching position? That's next on 101 ESPN. When you need a new ride, I want you to consider one place. It's Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. And the beauty about choosing one place is, well, you only have to go to one place. And when it comes to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they have over 700 vehicles in stock. Whether you're looking for a brand new vehicle, they got great prices, great deals on new Nissans, or you're looking at maybe a certified pre-owned vehicle, and you want to make sure that you also have, an opportunity to drive the car off the lot and have a little peace of mind. Well, Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, again, they've got 700 vehicles at one location. You have to drive all around, but they also give you the free nationwide lifetime warranty when it comes to new Nissans. 30-day return return promise, too, on that. So on top of the great deals, on top of the peace of mind, the 30-day return promise, they've got financing options for everyone. Good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter. They will finance the vehicle for you. So head out to Herculaneum. Check out why they're putting people in cars that, brand new Nissans, in fact, that are lower than they thought possible when it comes to their monthly payments. Again, Auto Center, Nissan, Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you.
If you look at it as a combination of being maybe too aggressive on the throw to first and then just a mental lapse on the second one as far as what we were doing there. But that's why Gorman wasn't at the bag on that play. So, yeah.
Ollie Marmol talking about some of the defensive miscues that you saw over the weekend. The John Mozeliak quotes from down at the ballpark have been released. So we're going to get into that in a couple of minutes because some interesting stuff from Mo. But I wanted to spend a couple of minutes, Jamie, talking about the catching situation for the Cardinals. So they've got Willson Contreras DHing and Ivan Herrera is catching. We saw Andrew Kisner activated yesterday, and he was behind the dish. I've stated this the last week or so, especially after Ivan Herrera came up and he made an immediate impact. Jamie, I don't know how you feel, but Ivan Herrera, after the trade deadline, Ivan Herrera would be catching 3 games a week for me, and Willson Contreras would be my DH in those moments. And I would figure out what to do with Kiz Daddy. I think Andrew Kisner, maybe he winds up fetching you a low-level prospect, and he can go to a place that he can catch full-time. Or be a 1A to a 1B. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Ivan Herrera, in my opinion, his time has come. And just because you sign Willson Contreras for $80+ million does not mean that Ivan Herrera shouldn't be splitting time behind the dish. Contreras, who's heated up now again, we know he can hit. We know he can hit. Donovan, eventually, that wrist should be fine. So he doesn't need to DH full time. Have Contreras be your DH. He can catch 3 out of the 6 games per week. Ivan Herrera's getting the rest, for me, in the second half.
Yeah.
You don't like it. Just say it.
No, I think that
you don't like my idea and you don't like me.
What I don't like is that the Cardinals have 3 catchers on their roster again. That's ultimately what I don't like. I don't think there's no scenario in which this is the best way of doing business. There isn't. So when I look at Herrera and I look at Cardinal needs, does he fetch you some of your solutions? Like, does a young catcher like that who's blossoming right now to where he could go to a team that sets up and says, you know what, yeah, we've got a starter for you, for Ivan Herrera, because he's going to be the catcher of the future. There's a lot of teams that are weak at the catcher position. Does he help you that way? Because you are pot committed to Contreras right now. I don't care if you like the deal or if you hate the deal. I don't care. As far as an organization is concerned, to save any kind of face on this, you have to play him. Doesn't mean you have to play full-time. It's like every single game. But this is why I would have an Andrew Kisner. Kiz Daddy's not pushing anybody out of their job. He'll be there as the 1B. No problem. I'll play those 3 games a week. Whatever you need me to do. And then we can both split time so Contreras can DH and then I can catch. And, with Herrera, though, I don't think you can do that. Kisner's past that little threshold of like up and coming.
Yeah, 28.
Herrera, you're not gonna roadblock Herrera with Contreras, and you're not gonna take away from your $87.5 million free agent by playing him fewer games than your up and coming star.
I'm not playing him fewer games. I'm just playing him more games at DH.
I'm just saying, can you get something for Herrera on the open market? Like not on the trade market.
You could, but I don't want to trade him.
So then you're going to have that problem for the next 4 years?
Yeah. Ivan Herrera is going to be more of my full-time catcher.
Fine, but I can tell you this, it's going to blow up in your face. It's going to blow up in your face because you're going to have a veteran player like Contreras that at some point has had enough. He's had enough, and he's going to be like, this is BS.
Does he want out?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. I'll trade him.
but then find something. The problem is you're not going to get what you paid for him. And what I mean by that is you're not going to get a player of equal value as far as what they can bring to the playing field.
But Ivan Herrera could be an actual catcher.
Could be.
And not a DH disguised as a catcher.
I agree. We're agreeing, but I'm just telling you, you have a problem here. And you've caused your own problem by overreacting with the checkbook.
Right.
But in all fairness to John Mozeliak and the Cardinals at the time, Herrera wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
All you had to go off of was what he did last year for you in his brief time up here, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. And then Andrew Kisner never really seized the moment, never became the next guy up. So you had to go find a catcher. You kicked the tires on Sean Murphy. The asking price was way too high from an organization standpoint.
Right.
So what's the easy way to do it? You throw money at it because we have some money. We don't like to just spend frivolously, but we do have the money to pick up the player.
Yeah.
Now you have a problem because you have a young catcher that's outperforming, at least defensively, your big free agent signing. And he's doing pretty good at the dish, too. He's not hitting the ball as hard as Contreras. He's not getting, the extra base hits, but he's still performing at the plate. He's giving you more at the plate than Yachty did.
Yeah. I'm not going to compound a mistake by making another one. That's how I would view it.
But you're going to end up with a tough situation a year from now down the road.
Then then I would turn to Contreras if he did have an issue and say, okay, then show me why you're the better catcher than Ivan Herrera. We're still paying you a lot of money. Go hit the ball. You're our DH.
But that's stupid.
Why is that stupid?
Stupid.
It would be dumber.
Is he a true DH?
Is
Wilson Contreras a true DH?
If Ivan Herrera winds up being my full-time catcher, then yes.
No, but he's not. You're defaulting him to DH. He's not really a true. You're defaulting him to DH because you screwed up.
I'm playing my best players. I'm playing my best players. Again, this is all under the pretense, of course, that Ivan Herrera does, he continues to play well.
Listen, in an ideal world, Anthony, Herrera is my guy.
Okay.
For a number of reasons. One, the upside is still tremendous for this young player.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a ton of team control ahead of you with this guy.
Yes.
Which helps you, open up the wallet for a starting pitcher or something like so.
Don't speak of blasphemy.
I understand that. But looking to rebuild your team or retool your team, having a cost control player helps you.
Right.
It does.
Then why are you trading him?
I'm not. I don't want to. All I'm saying is that there's a problem. Right now, you currently have 3 guys on your roster. Kisner is like the clubhouse favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he's worth anything on the field.
Right.
He plays pretty well, calls a pretty good game, works really hard, all that stuff. Great. He's a backup catcher.
He'll look great backing up Salvador Perez in Kansas City.
Perfect, fine. You'll do him a favor. You'll send him there. You'll ask for almost nothing in return because Kisner's been nothing but a true pro for your team.
Absolutely.
But now you're sitting there with Herrera and Contreras. And they're so close in ability right now. It's not like a Yachty situation to where you've got this young catcher who's looking up to Yachty and he's going to just wait his turn and everything's okay. It's not the same situation. Herrera right now, he's trying to push Contreras out of the position. He's trying to make him a DH.
Yeah.
As he should. He should want the job. But Contreras at the same time, he's an $87.5 million player that is going to say, screw you. You signed me to play catcher for this team. I just see it. At some point, there's going to be friction.
Yeah. You might be right, inevitably. But we have to do what's best for the team.
And I'm okay with that. I am ultimately okay with that, but I just don't like the fact that you had to spend almost $90 million to figure it out.
Well, you screwed up.
I know.
You screwed the pooch. You did. So now you had to deal with it, but don't make 2 mistakes at the same time. All right, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Let's get into what John Mozeliak just told the media about pitching, and there's some Cardinals fans that are foolishly getting excited about something that will never, ever happen. That's next on 101 ESPN.
For over 80 years, the Londoff family have been selling unbelievable vehicles to the people of St. Louis and area. Quite honestly, people from all over the country come to buy their cars from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Nobody outstocks or outdeals Johnny Londoff on the vehicles you want the most. Hurry in right now to take full advantage of their current specials, including 1.9% interest for qualified buyers. Also, don't forget about the lifetime warranty on all new Chevrolets and most of their pre-owned vehicles. The Londoff Pro Certified Lifetime Powertrain Warranty comes at no charge and covers the vehicle for as long as you own it. Let's not forget, too, that Johnny Londoff will match or beat anything that somebody else offers as far as your trade-in vehicle is concerned. So please stop by one of the two locations, the original one in Florissant, Missouri, the new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters. Walk in, tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you. Going to take great care of you, and walk away with your brand new vehicle or your pre-owned vehicle from Londoff Chevrolet. So again, get there in person. If you can't, get there online at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Redbirds release lineup for opener. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. With Miami in town for a 6:45 p.m. first pitch, St. Louis has its batting order in place. Dylan Carlson leading off in Manning center field. Ivan Herrera, meanwhile, bats seventh and catches after Lars Nootbaar in right field. And in the 8-hole, Jose Fermin hits ninth, and he will play second base. Miles Michaelis getting the nod on the hill. He will oppose Miami's Jesus Luzardo. This SportsCenter update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Now?
Right now.
Why? This is a good segment we have now.
Jamie, the mics are on. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. And we have your chance right now, Jamie.
Why now?
To score
I'm excited about the segment.
To score a pair of tickets to see. Well, people want their Foreigner tickets. We have your chance right now to score a pair of tickets to see Foreigner with special guest Loverboy this Wednesday at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Tickets for the historic farewell tour are on sale now, and you can text in 314-399-9646 to win free tickets to see Foreigner just by answering this trivia question, as we've been talking about. Génesis Cabrera designated for assignment earlier today. Who did the Cardinals trade to acquire in a package of players Génesis Cabrera from the Rays? Who did the Cardinals trade to acquire Génesis Cabrera, among others, from the Tampa Bay Rays? If you have the correct answer, again, the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. You have to be the 101st texter to win, but then you can get all the details at 101ESPN.com or the 101 app when it comes to the Foreigner concert this Wednesday night. All right, Jamie.
What's your favorite Foreigner song?
Well, that's the one with the drum beat was awesome.
I want to know what love is. Show me a picture.
Well, that's cute.
You're welcome, Mo.
Okay, so John Mozeliak, speaking of which, Mo, he was down at the ballpark and spoke to the media for nearly 30 minutes, according to Derek Gould. He told reporters his priority is to add pitching pitching, and beyond at the deadline, which is great. Mo has recognized that pitching actually wins baseball games. Jamie?
I think he
Who knew?
That. No, I think he knew that.
You can't just have all offense, apparently. You got to have guys that are going to throw.
Yeah.
Shocking development, Jamie. Snark over. All right, add pitching, and beyond at the deadline. Says team will definitely have to sign a free agent pitcher this winter. There's no way he sees a complete retool of the rotation to contend in 24. So, got to add. Now, this is one example, but our guy Swan reached out on Twitter. He said this. He goes, does this mean that they're gonna pony up in free agency and spend? Mo needs to choose his words carefully here. And I just responded with a gif that said, I wouldn't get your hopes up. This will never happen. They are not going to spend big in free agency. Go blank yourself, San Diego.
Yeah.
Who has Blake Snell?
San Diego did nothing to you, personally, that I know of.
Well, they eliminated us from the postseason a couple of years ago.
They did.
Among others.
That's true. Good point. First round's been a juggernaut for sure.
Certainly has.
Although I'd take it this year.
Some call it the toughest round.
I'd take it this year over what's currently going on.
Me too.
No, listen, if past behavior is the predictor of future behavior.
Andrew Brandt.
Yep. Then John Mozeliak will, again, go shopping in the pee pool. Anthony, we talked about that before.
We did.
You know, instead of that beautiful, infinity pool with the ceramic tiles and all that. No, Mo goes in the community pee pool.
Yeah. Wait, was it the community pee pool? Because when you and I were talking about this and you were talking about the infinity pool and that's the pool I want to swim in. And everybody was like, yeah, I want to swim in Jamie's pool. And I was like, yeah. But that's not the pool the Cardinals are going to be shopping in. They're going to be shopping in that inflatable pool with all the grass clippings, and your kids have been peeing
every kid in the
it.
neighborhood that's in the pool. But amazingly enough, 2 hours later, not one of them has left the pool.
Right.
And they've been drinking all day?
Yes. It's popsicles everywhere, popsicle
you
sticks.
think it's a popsicle staining the water, but it's
not.
No, it's the pee pool.
Right. That's the pool.
That's where you wanted them to shop.
No, I didn't want them to shop there. That's where I knew they were going to shop there.
Huh.
And guess what?
What? They did.
They did.
They sure did, Anthony. But I think this time it might change. I know. It's that toxic relationship, Anthony. No, don't throw the chair. Okay.
Come on.
I think
at some point you got to grow up.
You know what? First of all, just watch your mouth. Second of all, I will never grow up. Proof of that, I'll tell you that much. There's video of something this weekend. I will never grow up.
You and Peter Pan.
Yep.
Hand in hand.
I don't know about that. But I think John Mozeliak has to do something different. I think that, we saw that Marty Kilcoyne interview with John Mozeliak, and John Mozeliak goes on in that. I don't know if it's on the interview or if it's just the audio. Goes on to say that there's been a lot of sleepless nights. That his wife, he's like, I haven't been the greatest guy around the house, and I've been moody, and no, but he's feeling the stress of the season, and I don't think John Mozeliak wants his legacy, because he's only got a couple of years left in this thing. I don't think he wants his legacy of leaving the Cardinals in shambles. So I think John Mozeliak is going to go to ownership and say, listen, you gave me $87.5 million last year for Contreras. I need money for a starting pitcher. There's two guys that I really like, Aaron Nola and Blake Snell. We have to get one of them. I need you to almost give me a blank check that I will clear with you first, but I have to be able to go to battle here with some of these other teams that are going to be coming in with big pockets. I think this is the year he does it. I feel like at the deadline, I think John Mozeliak gets other pieces to go into the rotation moving forward. I think that he also internally is going to have to watch Graceffo and McGreevy and Tink Hence continue to develop. He's going to also have to hope that Steven Matz and Miles Michaelis can do their thing. But I do think this is the year he goes and tries to get that big fish. I feel like he has to. If he doesn't, then he's a fool.
Jamie,
I'll lay it out there like that. If he doesn't, then shame on him.
Jamie, I'm in complete agreement with you. Complete agreement. He has to. You're right. But who does he have to hold hostage within the organization and drag them into DeWitt's office to say, hey, I will knife this, you know what, if you don't allow me to spend. Who is that? Like Fredbird?
No.
Does he have to drag
somebody in the family, right?
I would think so.
Which one?
Nah.
No, we don't have. Listen, first of all, we don't need that to happen.
No, that would be wrong. But,
terrible.
Okay, but in all seriousness, who does he have to drag into Bill DeWitt's office at knife point and say, I will stab this person unless you give me more money to spend? Because that's the only way. You and I can talk about it until we're blue in the face. People want to say, you don't hold Mo accountable. Well, Mo, you better sign Aaron Nola or Blake Snell, or else we're going to continue to talk badly about it. That's not going to do it.
Here's what I do think. I think the entire organization has felt the pressure this year. This is not something Cardinal Nation is accustomed to. Having a losing season or having a season where you don't make the playoffs in the last, 20 years where you still had a good run at it, that's one thing. This is embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
To see the St. Louis Cardinals name, the brand, in last place in arguably the worst division in baseball, AL Central, close there with them. That's embarrassing. And we can say whatever we want about, the DeWitt family, how much they spend or how much money they make and how much they should spend because they make so much money. It's one thing. It's fine. We can debate that all day long. They're proud people, though.
Yeah.
You don't get to where you're at in business and everything else if you don't take pride and you don't have that competitive edge. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this year stings. And I feel like it's not going to take that much for the DeWitt family to be like, you know what? Go get the big fish, but you better be right on some of these other ones that you're getting in the pea pool. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better go get some of these other accent pieces. We'll give you the money for that big dog.
Yeah.
But make sure it's the right one.
You know what else is vital, though? If he is going to be able to, let's just say the DeWitts give him the do-re-mi to go out and get Nola or Snell. You know what he also has to do? Something that we continue to talk about. He's going to have to get pitching at this deadline as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
that's
if you
part
don't,
of the process.
Yes.
You set the table right now at the deadline,
right,
and then you serve the dinner at free agency.
Because if you don't, think about it this way. You've got two guys, really just one, and Michaelis. You could have Matz next year, too, in your rotation. Michaelis is going to make $20 million, I believe. Matz is going to make what?
11.
If you go into free agency next year, a good starting pitching, just good, like number threes, start at $20 million. You can't sign $20 million a year. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to get cost control guys.
Well, this is where you got to hope deadline. That Graceffo, McGreevy, Tinkens is probably a stretch.
But you could start this at the deadline this year.
Liberatore, yeah, you can't close the door on that guy yet. These guys are going to. One of those guys is going to have to compete and earn the number 5 spot.
Agreed. When you trade Flaherty and or Montgomery, you're going to have to get somebody.
Paul DeYoung or whoever else you move at the deadline. Like John Mozeliak said, pitching. I like that he hasn't played coy right now to the point to where I don't want the rest of the league to know what we're going out to get. The rest of the league knows.
They know.
He knows that. So you know what? Forget it. I don't care. We're going to get pitching. So address that this year. Get some accent pieces, a good supporting cast, as he'd say in the movie business, and then go get your star in the offseason.
I don't mind him saying we need pitching. You do. The rest of the league's not
sometimes
stupid.
you don't want to divulge your strategy. Be like, you're going to get fleeced. Right. No, it doesn't work that way.
If I'm the Dodgers, I'm like, I got pitching.
Yeah.
And I need a couple of guys from you. Tyler O'Neill especially. Huh? That guy's a stud.
Then he'll go hit 25 homers in the second half of the season.
Of course he will. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. With Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter, we have our Sports Six-Pack next. So if you got a question, 314-399-9646. Send in questions for us. Again, Sports Six-Pack next in the Fastlane.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter back with you, joined by our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, I've got a need, the need for speed.
You know what, Jamie? I heard about that when you were playing hockey. You were pretty fast. Is that true?
Yeah, pretty true. Tough to catch out there, Stewie.
Okay, well, you know what? In the financial arena, in the mortgage industry, we're the ones that are fast. We just closed an ESPN listener. Now, what we did was we spoke to the seller's realtor, and we said to the seller's realtor, because sellers want out quick, that we can close this loan in 9 days. And they said, no way, no way. If you do that, we'll take the contract. We'll give you a 9-day closing date. If it doesn't close, we'll list it again. No problem. I said, do it. You'll see us make it happen. Well, we made it happen. We closed it in 9 days. They got the bagel loan. They offered more money than everybody else, and it didn't cost them a dime more. And that's why they got the house of their dreams. So just as important as finding your house is finding the right partner lender to make it happen for you.
There you go, and that's why you call Stewie at 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
But call. You call Dag. You text him. But if you want that speed, you want to close fast, Stewie can get you to the closing table quickly, and you can do so by saving you money as well. And don't forget, you can always Google
the bagel.
Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here's our guy, Bradford Bruns, pinch hitting today for Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, Anthony, here we go. Did you see this over the weekend? Lake Tahoe was the site of a hole-in-one for Warriors star, Steph Curry on the golf course. Celebrity tournament style, of course. Jamie, when you played back in the NHL days, care to reference any other pros who were just nauseatingly good at another sport? Not their chosen sport, but just so darn good at another one it made you sick.
Oh, well, NHL guys or other athletes that were in?
Both. Either or.
Well, I'm trying to think. A lot of NHL guys are good golfers. Grant Fuhr was a really good golfer as a teammate. Used to love getting out on the links and playing with Fuhrs. He was one of those guys that made it fun. Like, even if you suck, you had a good time because he'd kind of giggle and kind of, poke at you a little bit, but didn't embarrass you too bad. But I mean, in that era, like, obviously Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, and those guys are pretty good at a couple of different sports. But
was anybody, like, who was the best athlete overall? Like, anything they did? Golfing, ping pong, you happen to take, at bats.
So many good athletes. I mean, I don't know if hockey players are the best athletes. I'm sure that would be challenged by, probably multiple sports. The only pushback I have is that, when's the last time Bo Jackson skated down the ice?
Yesterday, probably.
Maybe. Bo Jackson, he might have played in the NHL had he wanted to. There's no doubt. But that's kind of always the ace of spades is Like I can run, I can catch a football, I can hit a baseball, I can catch a baseball, I can do all these things, and I can ice skate.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, even if you take Michael Jordan or LeBron James and you drop them on skates, I don't care how long you give them, they're never going to be able to compete at any level.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah, kind of the ultimate equalizer. I get you.
That's the only thing, we got. Yes. Because we're the most
Question
underpaid.
number 2.
That's what I'm telling you. Underpaid, those hockey guys.
Did I hear LeBron again? LeBron
no.
reference
No,
number 2.
LeBron. Turn your mic
We're
off
going
now,
to get
please.
into it for another reason. Stop the presses. LeBron James has announced, yes, very fond of those announcements, that next season he will be returning to the number 23, no longer the number 6. He won it for one final campaign last NBA season to honor the late, great Bill Russell. What are some of the most iconic numbers in all of sports beyond 23? Let's go 99, 42, Babe, number 3. Give me another one, guys.
I always think of 20 with Barry Sanders. I think of 21 with Dion. I think
Are those iconic, though, Anthony? I don't know if they're iconic.
21?
I don't know about that.
The number 20, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, okay, but that you're attaching it to one player.
Okay. Well, is it supposed to be one jersey or just one, like, numbers overall?
Just a number that pertains to a particular athlete, but that stands out maybe through multiple sports. Yeah, across.
21, Dion.
Who else? Give me another famous 21. Quick. 3, 2.
Charles Woodson.
Really? That's iconic. He's a heck of a player, but he's not iconic. Sorry. Stop it. Stop it.
Number two.
Those can be iconic for sure.
Derek Jeter. Not that too.
How about number 66? Who do you think of?
Mario Lemieux.
There you go. Hockey guy doesn't know who Mario Lemieux is. Come on.
I know who Mario is.
88.
Michael Irvin.
Eric Lindros. Patrick Kane. So see, that's what I'm talking about, where you have multiple athletes. 80. Jerry Rice.
Absolutely.
Steve Largent. He was.
You're right. He was. I don't think of 80 that way.
He had a record for a while.
No, Steve Largent was excellent.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
You have no respect for him. Shame on you.
Come on, man.
Shame on you.
Well, number 7.
Oh, Big Walt. Red Berenson.
John Elway.
Pat Maroon.
Yeah, the big rig. Number 13.
Alexei Toropchenko.
I'm calling it.
Question number
Bradford,
3.
number 13.
Oh,
Come on.
Why? Who?
Number 13.
Who?
Dan Marino.
He didn't win anything, Anthony.
Ooh. Well, after that first season, as far as playoff misfortunes, I guess you could go there. Harsh, though.
Isotoner gloves, though.
Harsh.
I'll do it forever.
Forever, the co-star in Ace Ventura. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Mixing music and sports here. Did you guys also see that Eminem over the weekend popped up at Ed Sheeran's concert in, Detroit, the Motor City? I actually have a little bit of a sample here. And Ed Sheeran's trying to do his thing. And then, of course, M does his thing, Lose Yourself, which has been around for, close to a couple of decades now? I'm curious, though, with that still being such a fixture at arenas everywhere, is there a quote-unquote jock jam that you actually haven't gotten tired of yet that just plays over and over at arenas?
I mean, Queen's We Will Rock You is the most iconic, and I don't think I've tired of that.
I pegged you for a Cotton Eye Joe guy.
Don't you peg me. Don't you dare.
Why? I thought you'd like that. Cotton Eye Joe. Cotton Eye Joe. You know that, Anthony.
I do know it, but no.
I saw you singing it the other day in the hallway.
That was Bradford.
No, that was you. And you had a little dance going and everything.
Oh, that was Mike Ryder.
That was you. Saw that chest hair a mile away.
That was Marsh.
That was a mustache. I like, in hockey rinks, you hear it quite a bit. It's Lincoln Park in the end. I like
really?
That. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a good song.
It's a great song, Anthony.
I don't think of that as.
I know you don't. That's why I prefaced it with.
I still love. Was it Zombie something?
Rob Zombie?
Cranberries?
No. Come on.
FTW.
the zombie.
Yeah. Sing a few bars.
It's not. It's the techno.
Yeah. Zombie
that's in
Nation.
there.
Zombie
Rihanna,
Nation.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
How does it go? They played in college. Yeah. They played in the college football
What
stadiums.
NHL team goal song is that? 3, 2, Boston Bruins. You're right. You're right. Had that played twice in one night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
baby.
You scored 2 goals?
2 goals. One as a forward, one as a defenseman.
Look at you. You're sick SOB.
Hit the post in the second period, too.
Would've
Then
been
the
hat
damn
trick.
coach. How about this crap? We're up by 2 goals. End of the game, they pull their goalie. He doesn't put me out there.
Who's the coach?
Robbie
Keenan?
Fatorik. No, you'd think that. Robbie Fatorik was the guy who was like, came in before the game, that game, and said, I think you can play forward. I play forward, and he didn't let me get my hat trick.
Did you ever have a hat trick in the NHL?
Several, and I can't remember all of them at this point. No,
that was
didn't. That would have been it.
Oh, man. Sorry,
Question number 4.
From the 314, appreciative of the gridiron talk so far today, gentlemen. So with Saquon Barkley getting the tag, not getting the long-term deal, what does this mean for some of the other upper echelon backs like a Tony Pollard and even Josh Jacobs for that matter, their production versus needs of their respective teams with the Cowboys and Raiders?
It means that if the Giants aren't giving Saquon Barkley, who is their offense, the money that he deserves, then you're screwed. I mean, Josh Jacobs had an unbelievable season. I will say this, though. When you look at Josh Jacobs, you're really talking about his rookie year and last year. Saquon Barkley, you're really talking about half of his rookie year and last year. These aren't guys like Derrick Henry got paid. Derrick Henry has been a consistent. He's been the aberration, right? Like he's been the guy that has maintained his production. Running backs have a short shelf life. NFL teams know this.
It's tough living.
It is. I mean, if you're Atlanta right now, you got Bijan Robinson. You utilize him for that rookie contract, and then you do the same thing that the Giants are doing to Saquon Barkley. It's just the nature of the position. Dalvin Cook got his money, though. And then he got released once they realized that Madison could do the same thing,
Yeah.
the same thing for less.
Running backs kind of get screwed over.
Yeah.
They do. They're used and abused, and they used to get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't anymore.
Not anymore.
The teams have smartened up.
Yep. All right, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The only difference is like this is like a Christian McCaffrey. Somebody that...
Yeah, but he's multi...
Exactly. If I don't have to take you off the field, I'll pay you. If I can put you in the slot as a running back, you could get money. You know, if you're Saquon or if you're Josh Jacobs, probably be a better example. Josh Jacobs, I can find another Josh Jacobs in the 3rd round next year, and he's really good. Don't get me wrong, but Alabama's got, their depth chart is 5 deep with running backs. So, yeah, you're right, Jamie. They've smartened up. What's trending is next on 101 ESPN. Love heading down to the Missouri Athletic Club, whether it's the downtown spot to catch a Cardinals game and eat at the Jack Buck Grill, get a drink, take the shuttle over, or when it comes to the West Clubhouse of the Missouri Athletic Club, get my workout in. I love taking various classes there. We love bringing the kids down in the summertime for when it comes to the pool. I just love weaving the Missouri Athletic Club into my everyday routine. I also prep there. They've got various business centers that I can go. Nice, quiet spot. Perfect. Great location, too, off of 270 for the West Clubhouse. That's the MAC, Missouri Athletic Club. 5:03, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here's Bradford Bruns with what's trending.
Gentlemen, all kinds of tidbits and notes from the ballpark today. The Cardinals and Marlins getting started in about an hour and a half, but John Mozeliak recently told the assembled members of the media that Tyler O'Neill, not yet reactivated from the IL, could happen as soon as tomorrow. When he returns to the club, he is going to be the guy in left field, also referencing the fact that Jordan Walker should continue to get daily reps. Lars Nootbaar, part of that group as well. Conspicuous by the absence, tonight's leadoff man, Dylan Carlson.
Well, let's start with Tyler O'Neill before we get into Dylan Carlson. Tyler O'Neill, for me, guys, I'm just going to be very blunt about this like I have been. As soon as Tyler O'Neill is ready to play, I am playing him every inning of every game until the trade deadline. I am also considering leading him off so he gets as many ABs as humanly possible. Why would you lead him off? Exactly what I just said. I am showcasing him.
Who?
Tyler O'Neill.
You're leading him off?
If I could get him extra at bats, I'm going to. If he runs in a 5, maybe I could get something at the deadline for him. And then see ya. So that's how I interpret the Tyler O'Neill situation.
I would agree. I agree. I mean, you have to figure out what you can do with this guy. If he comes back and he dominates, that's great news. Because you're going to get more from him at the trade deadline. I don't see Tyler O'Neill wearing the birds on the bat next season.
I don't either.
I don't see Tyler O'Neill wearing the birds on the bat past the trade deadline.
I agree.
Now, the risk of making him your everyday left fielder between now and the trade deadline is...
he gets hurt.
Yep.
But, what else is new? What did you think of the Dylan Carlson situation?
I find that interesting based on the fact that Dylan Carlson is still so young, and that you're hitting him lead off, so maybe that plays into your theory of get him the most at-bats possible. But I also find it interesting because, again, I'll go back to a broken record, but John Mozeliak said from his cold, dead hands, you wouldn't get Dylan Carlson, and then said that one of the pieces that was asked in the Juan Soto trade, one of the pieces, not the main piece, maybe he was the main piece, I don't know, but said no, he wouldn't include Dylan Carlson in that trade, and then went on to even publicly say that Dylan Carlson was not going to be traded. That seems like odd behavior if you're going to exclude a guy less than a season, half a season later from your outfield.
I view this more as a combination of the Tyler O'Neill situation. I think they go hand in hand. Not a combination, but hand in hand. You wanted to showcase Tyler O'Neill to trade him. So, therefore, he's got to get the playing time, and Dylan Carlson suffers for a couple of weeks.
So let me ask you this, though, Anthony. If the phone rings, and you've showcased Tyler O'Neill, and he's done pretty well, but they're calling and they want Dylan Carlson. Now what?
What are you giving me?
I don't know.
You give me 2 pitchers?
No.
You Dodgers?
Go chase yourself. You don't even have this guy in your lineup.
Yeah,
he can't play on your team. The worst team in the worst division, I'm not giving you squat.
Yeah, I'm protecting him.
Okay.
I'm protecting him
I'm sure
because I'm resting him now because I'm going to play him every day come the second half. That's how good this guy is.
I just don't know how this works, man. Because you're going to trade Tyler O'Neill and then... I don't know.
I'm going to give you Dodgers. I'm going to give you choose Flaherty or Montgomery, and if you want DC, it's going to cost you 2 pitchers.
That won't happen, but I appreciate your effort.
Okay. Well, then Dodgers, good luck.
Oh, that's fine.
Going against the Braves.
We got lots of other teams that want to deal with
Good luck going against the Atlanta Braves.
We got this guy named Ohtani on line 2.
The Angels aren't going to trade you, Ohtani.
Yeah, they will.
He's going to the Rays.
They suck.
Good luck getting past the Braves. Dodgers with no pitching.
Fine, Anthony. But Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill don't pitch.
No, but Montgomery and Flaherty do.
Let's jumble it up some more, shall we? Brendan Donovan out of the order versus...
That was good.
Donnie's out of the order versus a lefty tonight. He's probably, according to the skipper, a week or so away from returning to the field, still dealing with that very vague arm issue, right?
Playing.
Did he not go like 2 for 4 last night or something?
Yeah. No, from playing the field.
Oh, the field. Yeah. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
Here's where it gets interesting, though.
This is the second moment in the show where Jamie goes, what?
Head off the desk.
Hey. What the heck, man?
I don't know. Sorry.
I actually did do that the one time.
You did. That was epic, too. Not hard enough in my books.
Thank you.
I'll get another Tyler O'Neill mention in here for you as well, because let's see what happens if and when he's ready to be reactivated. At the moment, your only backup infielder is tonight's starter at the Keystone, Jose Fermin. More roster maneuverings to come?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of roster movement over the last couple of weeks, James, or the next couple of weeks.
Big chance.
This is Fermi's big chance. He's 24 years old. Come on, Fermi. I'm trading Jake. I'm trading Jack Flaherty.
Jake Neighbors. What the hell?
I'm going to try to trade Jake Neighbors.
No.
You can pitch. Flaherty, Montgomery, O'Neill, DeYoung, Hicks, Helsley if he's active. I'm going to have a fire sale of players that either on expiring contracts or guys that
they just have no future.
They've got no future. O'Neill's only future is on the IL, and Helsley's only future is pitching once a week, and or on the IL if I overuse him.
That's harsh, Anthony.
I gotta go.
That's harsh.
I gotta go, man. Let's go.
I thought you just went.
I actually gotta go again.
I bet you do.
Drinking a lot of water.
Seriously, you are.
Yeah. It's healthy, Jamie.
Some say.
Makes you feel good.
Indeed. One more, albeit from the realm of the college gridiron, actually. Today, gentlemen, marked the beginning of SEC Media Days this year in Nashville, moving away from Atlanta, and Mizzou, one of 3 schools to actually have its coaching staff as well as players address the assembled media there. In the next month or so, we're going to be hearing more and more from Tiger Town, but expectations for this season, Anthony, specifically with so much talent returning on the defensive end at the very least.
You know, Brad,
defensive end, what are we thinking there?
Bradford, if they don't, and then you're as big of a Mizzou fan as I know, you and BK, I know that you guys are hyped on the defense. I know that you guys are hyped on certain of the skill players. If you don't figure out the quarterback spot, Eli, you're screwed.
I agree.
There's no discussion if he can't figure out the quarterback spot. Whether that of course is Brady Cook, who's the number 1 quarterback last year for them.
Who played all of last year and was admittedly hurt.
He's hurt, Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
What?
He was hurt, I guess.
Okay, fine.
He also didn't play well.
Last year seemed to me like nobody took full advantage of the opportunity.
That's because nobody took full advantage of the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well said, Anthony.
And then they got Garcia.
Jay Garcia, Miami transfer. Sam Horn, Texas kid. You have a lot of bodies, none of whom we really saw.
Yeah, we got old Horny
at the spring game because there wasn't an official spring game.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't, that thus far has been Drink's biggest challenge. He has not acquired the QB that has fit his system, that has put them over the top.
But isn't Drink an offensive guy?
He's an offensive guy.
How the hell do you not find a quarterback then?
Great question.
Like, isn't that for me, isn't that problematic? Like, if an offensive guy can't recruit like a real star quarterback, that's a huge problem for me.
I was very high on Drink when they hired him from Appalachian State. I know it's just the 1 year at App State, but his offense played. I figured he'd come in. He doesn't have to get a number 1 recruit at QB.
Right.
He has to find somebody that fits his system. And he, of all people, being a play caller or once a play caller, as to Jamie's point, would know that.
And if I'm the casual Mizzou fan, all I'm saying right now is go with the guy under center who's going to do the best job of getting the football with regularity to Luther Burden. Be as creative as you want. If they get him the ball in space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
They used him almost sparingly at times. I mean, what was the one game, Bradford? It took him into the third quarter.
Well, they thought he was injured. Honestly,
did they realize he was still on the roster?
I don't know.
I've been very disappointed in the drink era thus far. And again, I mean, you and I had him on the show during the pandemic. I'm like,
he's a very likable guy.
He's got a challenge out on his hands here with the pandemic, but I thought he navigated the waters pretty well. Then you bring in a big recruit in Luther Burden, and you put him on the outside, and then you forgot about him for 2 weeks. I don't understand. As an offensive coordinator, I could not figure that out. And ESPN at the time was so willing to break in for Aaron Judge home runs that, you didn't miss anything with Burden.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To me, those are the biggest question marks for me is when you have an offensive-minded head coach that, one, underutilizes or doesn't utilize a star receiver the right way and or cannot get a quarterback to run his system.
Yep, agreed.
I guess we can't expect to save you a seat at the Dome for Memphis then.
Well,
shame.
Yeah. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Let's dive back into some of the Cardinals-related topics of the day because there's a lot to break down. If you missed some of the action that has gone down at Busch Stadium, Mo speaking to the media today, some interesting thoughts out of him. We just talked a little bit about the Tyler O'Neill situation, so we'll dive back into that next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, listen up. Fatigue is a lack of energy, and you've got frustration and irritability and all those things. Maybe you've got a few extra pounds and you can't get rid of them. All of that can be signs of low testosterone. But get checked. It's easy. Go visit my friends over at Mentality. They've got 2 locations, South County location, West County location. Mentality, they're board-certified physicians. They'll provide a complete physical exam, consultation, and all of that comes with a blood panel with the results so you can be the best version of you. If you've been battling all of those things that I talked about earlier, get over there. They're going to test the blood on you, and they'll find out exactly what's going on, and they will create a program that is specific to you. For me, I was low on testosterone, a couple other vitamins, and I get in there weekly now, and I have been more productive at home, at the office, a better parent, more energy after work, going home, spending more time with the kids, doing a lot of things differently, and that's because Mentality has given me back my life, and they can do the same for you. Get in there, visit them in person, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at lowtusa.com. That's Mentality at lowtusa.com.
So John Mozeliak pitched. He pitched. Maybe he should pitch. He pitched ideas. He pitched ideas to the media today. Maybe he should pitch. Who knows?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Couldn't be worse, right? Anyways, Mo, he says, I definitely think we're going to treat the trading deadline as pitching now. That's not to say we're going to ignore a position player that is uber great, but I think the goal would be to address as much pitching as possible. Well, good. I mean, it's the obvious answer, but Jamie, we've talked about this. It's not just the starting rotation. It is the bullpen, especially if you DFA'd Génesis Cabrera, and I'm sure they had reasons to. Maybe Cabrera spouted off again to Ollie, and it wound up being a situation where the Cardinals are like, "Look, we got to move on. It's been a dreadful year. We don't need more headaches off the field, especially from guys that a year ago kind of doing the same thing in Génesis Cabrera." So they DFA'd him. You need to revamp this entire pitching staff. And as we've talked about, yes, free agency they've got to be active in free agency. I hope it's an Aaron Nola. I hope it's a Blake Snell. I hope it's a Lucas Giolito. That'd be great. But you're not going to give 5 guys $20+ million for your rotation. You have to have some cost-controlled players mixed in as well. It starts at the deadline. You got multiple players on expiring contracts that could fetch you something. I think that the Cardinals, most specifically, needs to figure out a way to get cost-control pitching, guys that are on the verge. Or maybe it's a situation like Sheehan in L.A., who's made 4 or 5 starts for the Dodgers. He is, if it's a loaded rotation, he's probably in AAA waiting for his opportunity. Dodgers have had some injuries when there's a rotation. He's pitching now for them. In fact, I think he goes tonight. That's the type of player that the Cardinals need to look at when it comes to this deadline. It doesn't have to be a star. I think some people think, well, what's he going to do for you? He's young. Yeah, he's young. He's cost controlled. It's a start. It's not the end product. It's a start. It's like Doug Armstrong at last year's deadline. I have expiring contracts, and I need to get assets for those expiring contracts. And he turned them into 3 draft picks or 2 draft picks, as well as Jacob Verana, Jakub Verana, and Kasperi Kapanen, and Sammy Blais. Mm-hmm. It was a start. Then in the offseason, he added Hayes, and he brought back Oscar Sundqvist, and he started to sign other guys to contract extensions. It's the same deal for Mo, in my opinion, at this deadline.
Anthony,
what do you think?
Yes, pitching is the key. And although the rotation hindered this team early in the season, the rotation has been just fine since. This bullpen, whether it was because they were taxed early in the season or they're just not pitching well now, this bullpen has really hurt them.
Yes, it's been terrible.
What team in all of baseball has the most blown saves?
Cardinals.
Yes. How many, do you think?
17.
21.
Deion Sanders.
That's right. 21 blown saves. Let's say 10 of those 21 are not blown. Mm-hmm. Let's say you win those 10 games. That puts you at 50 and 43. Mm-hmm. 50 wins, 43 losses. 7 games above 500. That's a big difference.
Huge.
And that's just being optimistic, 50%, because quite honestly, where the Cardinals were last year, I think they ended the season with like 18 blown saves. They're at 21 right now. They're not at the freaking trade deadline. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that could have changed their outcome.
It's a huge problem.
But
it's pitching, though. I mean, It's under the umbrella of pitching.
But to your point, the starters gassed their own bullpen.
They did.
Like,
they did. I don't know if they did, though, Anthony. They did to a certain extent, but there's been a lot of guys through that bullpen now.
Now you tick me off.
Yeah, I know.
You tick me off. Let's go back to April. How did Miles Michaelis do in April? He had a nice month for you? No, he didn't.
Hey, Anthony, go back a minute and a half ago, and I just said the same thing you're saying right now.
Well, then why are you talking nonsense?
I'm not. I'm talking about pitching.
I know.
And
but then you started to say, well, the starting pitching, well, it hasn't been that bad. Come on.
No, I didn't say that. I said since that dreadful start where they went, 10 and 24?
The damage was already done by this starting staff.
But Since that point, Anthony.
Miles Michaelis opening day 3 1/3. Terrible. Should we continue?
Whatever you need to be right, Anthony, okay? You just go ahead and pluck whatever you... And you know what? You can just pluck off.
Jack Flaherty, 5 innings. Is that good? Pluck this, 5 innings. The starting staff ruined your bullpen early. Then they finally got a little decent, and we can't just blame it on the pen.
I'm not even listening anymore, to be honest.
I think that's fair.
I have completely tuned you out.
At the end of the day.
So
it's been bad, Mo.
So, Jamie, we can agree this entire pitching staff needs to go Jeff Fisher style. He got to go. And by he, I mean basically.
I don't think the entire pitching staff has
most
to
of
go.
it.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay keeping Miles Michaelis.
Okay, outside of that.
I'm okay keeping Jordan Hicks. Everybody else, you can go. Everyone.
Non-young guys. Like no to Zach Thompson.
Well, no, I keep him. There's still hope. Ish.
For now. I don't think there's much hope for Dakota Hudson, but Mo mentioned we thought Dakota Hudson might be someone that could give us innings in the rotation. So a lot of decisions we made haven't worked out from an injury or be it from a performance standpoint. Mo on second guessing his moves. This is all from John Denton on Twitter. I think I would add more starting pitching. I would add more bullpen. Again, we thought the Rule 5 pick, which was Rodriguez, was going to help us a little bit more. Mozeliak said that the team has signed former Cubs right-handed reliever Ryan Tepera, who is active now for tonight's game. Ollie Marmol also noted that the outfield going forward until the trade deadline at least will be Tyler O'Neill, Lars Nootbaar, and Jordan Walker. At the end of the day, this is Ollie, though. Everyone's gotten an opportunity, and we can feel comfortable with that. Marmol also said on Génesis Cabrera being designated for assignment today, quote, I thought it was the right time for him to have a change of scenery. There's clearly something that happened. I mean, there's something that happened there with Génesis.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Mo also said on Génesis Cabrera being DFA'd, I don't think he loved the role he was in and ultimately was trying to get to his work. We just kept hitting some headwind. Now, he'll get that opportunity to do it somewhere else.
Yeah, Marmol also goes on to say, I thought it was the right time for him to have a change of scenery.
Yes.
Fine.
So there you go. All right. So the Cardinals know they need starting pitching. They know they need bullpen help. They need pitching overall. We'll see if they can get that done at the deadline. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll play Beat the Streak, and the biggest question of the day is next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers back with you here, joined by Tracy Bibb from the Bibb Agency. Tracy, what is one of the biggest mistakes that people make regarding their insurance? Whether it's car insurance, home insurance, what are some of the mistakes people make?
Right now, what I'm seeing a lot of is taking advice from people who are non-licensed that are not licensed in insurance. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook and social media where somebody's asking a question about insurance and wanting advice. How do you handle something when you're hit by a non-insured driver? Or we've been seeing a lot of trees down. How are those things handled? And they're getting answers from people who are not insurance agents. A huge thing about having us at the Bibb Agency as your and ask us those questions, and we can help you understand what route to take for your insurance.
Yeah, and with Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency, it's not a 1-800 number, so you're going to get someone who knows you, gets to know your family, and is going to take great care of you. I know this because I've been with the Bibb Agency for over 4 years now. So please, stop trying to do it yourself. Don't listen to your friends online. Call Tracy Bibb for a free non-committal quote today. That number is 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. Tracy, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Go St. Louis City.
Cards cut ties with Cabrera. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. In advance of tonight's series opener versus Miami, St. Louis has designated Génesis Cabrera for assignment. The lefty last appeared out of the pen on Saturday, throwing 33 pitches in a 9-6 win over Washington. This evening's lineup, meanwhile, has a couple of quirks. Dylan Carlson leads off against the Marlins southpaw. Jesus Luzardo. Jose Fermin is in the 9th spot and playing second. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey. Okay, so with the situation that occurred on Friday, we had the suspended game. Jamie wasn't here, Marshall wasn't here. We just decided, you know what, that's going to be a no play. And we do have our fade or follow contestant that we're trying to get a hold of to bring him back as well. So that game just got completely wiped out, which means Brian is back now for Beat the Streak. Now, Marsh still won't play tonight. Actually, Bruns is gonna do Marsh's pick tonight. So, Bradford Bruns, who's pinch hitting for Marsh today, why don't you, if you wouldn't mind, update us on our streak standings?
Well, Anthony, at present, you still have that 11-game streak intact. A career high, mind you. Oh, yeah. Jamie, you're up to number 8 yourself.
Ooh,
so
baby.
Not too shabby whatsoever. Marsh/Bruns at 1, 2, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. And the listener has 1 in the books as well.
Okay, so it'll be me, Jamie, Brian, our listener. What's up, Brian?
Hey, how's it going? I appreciate the mulligan.
Of course, yeah, no, I mean, just look.
Anthony originally had said no, but I went to bat for you.
Yeah, it's convenient for him too, right? So he can continue his streak. So.
Seriously.
You're darn right.
You get it.
Yeah. All right, speaking of which, guys, I'm going to go on a limb tonight. I think that in looking at both teams, having an understanding of who might get a hit to extend this streak of mine, Jamie, I think I'm going to go with Luis Ariz. Luis Ariz.
What has that guy ever done?
Well, he got me 4 hits the last time these two teams played. So.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so
That's
Luis
what I was
Ariz.
going to go with.
Hey, he's only hitting about 500. So,
Yeah.
Jamie, who's your selection?
Well, he's gone now. I'm going to double down. Doubling down has been good for me this year. And I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado.
Good call. Okay. Brian, who would you like?
I'm going to take Paul Goldschmidt.
RL Chalk it is.
Oh, wow. Why you got to go after Brian like that? RL Chalk.
That's
You're
who
the
we-
guy
that's who we call
you
Goldie.
picked a guy batting 500, Anthony.
That's what we call Goldie, and you know it, Jamie.
Enough out of you.
Your attitude has been absolutely
You've
disgusting
been
today.
attacking the listeners today,
Bradford,
and I
who
don't
would you
like
like?
it.
Thank you, sir. Brian, you sniped my pick, but all is well and good because I'm going to fully buy into the narrative here. Jose Fermin, it is the night to shine against the Southpaw for Miami. Luzardo, I know, I really want a Goldschmidt, but pressed into active duty, no better time to shine. Let's go with that story. Fairy tale.
All right, Bradford.
More fired up than ever. I don't know why.
I don't either, but I like
Jose
it.
Fermin. All right, so I took Luis Ariz. Jamie took Nolan Arenado to double dip. Our guy Brian took RL Chalk, who we affectionately call as Paul Goldschmidt. And Bradford is on the Jose Fermin train.
He sure
from
is.
Marsh.
Sell it.
There you go. All right, Brian, good luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
All right, buddy. See ya. All right, Bradford, what do you got?
Here we go, guys. It's all about the Cards, just an hour or so away from first pitch on this Monday evening. And this was the opportunity. John Mozeliak used this opportunity prior to the Miami series opener to address the assembled media and unveil a bunch of different interesting developments in relation to this team. Guys, why was this the opportune time to do so? Following the first series after the All-Star break, there are a lot of things yet to come to fruition, Tyler O'Neill, etc. But why is this the time? Is it the best time?
I wonder if it's because Génesis Cabrera was DFA'd and Tyler O'Neill is drawing closer. So you could give people an update or at least release the statement on Génesis Cabrera and give an update on Tyler O'Neill and not have to do so in the next couple of days. You just activate him when he's ready because people are going to kind of question that. So, your first series is over with now from the deadline. You can state that you're looking for pitching. Not that people didn't figure that anyways, Jamie, but I think that would be the timing as the why.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of updates, to your point. Guys coming off the injured list, Cabrera with whatever that whole thing is. And you're also coming off a series win, too. So it's almost like, you know what, not that you're pumping your tires up a little bit, but it's a lot easier sometimes to be very forthcoming off of winning a series or after a big win.
Right.
So I look at this as a great opportunity for John Mozeliak to kind of address the media, be brutally honest. I think it's well overdue at this point, and kind of go from there. So I thought it was a perfect time for all of that.
Yeah. Cardinals open up a new series tonight against the Marlins. Of course, the Miami Marlins took 3 of 4 from you down at Lone Depot Field right before the All-Star break. Jesus Luzardo, the left-hander, goes against Miles Michaelis. 6:45 start time. Hopefully the rain stays away, man. It's been a rough stretch when it comes to storms in the area.
the grounds crew there have been
They're
getting their
working
steps
overtime, no doubt about that. Jamie also got his steps in this weekend as he went down to the lake.
Yeah, I did.
And Jamie, you had said beforehand that you got a story for us.
Well, it's not like a crazy story. It's just like it's kind of humbling, to be honest.
You found out you were old this weekend.
I
is what
sure
you
did,
said.
Anthony. But it's not the way you think. So we went down there, and hats off, my good buddy Mark Beckham and his girlfriend Jane. They're awesome up
Shout
there.
out to Bex.
The Bex, yeah, he's the bomb. He's got a great spot down there, and when we go down there, he just, it's like you live there, and no problem. They do an amazing job. And so they had a bunch of friends up, and Jane's daughter and her husband, and it's a bunch of youngins, and they had these like beer Olympics that we were all going to compete in. It was supposed to be, the elder statesmen and then the youngins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had lost a few of them early. Mark had hurt his hand and whatnot, so I'm like, okay, fine. So we're going through these wacky events, and we have teams, the green team. Shout out to the green team. You'll know why in a bit. First event is Flip Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I dominated it. I punished these kids like it was a drubbing. Body bags, basically.
Now, for those that have not played Flip Cup.
Yeah. You just put the cup on the rim and you flip it over and you land it. And if you're last one, you're out. And you keep going, keep going, keep going. So we won that one. So first place for the green team. Next event was the egg toss. I don't know if you've ever done that. You take an egg and you throw it, and then you each take a step back, and you see how many feet you can get before it breaks. Well, my partner and I, we dominated that one, too. So the green team's up 2 events to nothing against everybody. And then comes the spin the egg, Anthony. What do you think of when you hear spin the egg? No, not that.
Oh.
No.
Spin the egg.
Well, let me help you.
Yeah.
So Mark has a beautiful dock. Big dock, boat, awesome setup.
Oh, dock.
Dock, yeah.
Got it.
Yep. I mean, several. Anyways, we had an egg that we're going to spin, and you have people all around it, and wherever the egg lands on or points to the top of the egg, that person has to pick up the egg and throw it. Everybody else will run off the end of the dock and try to survive, basically. So we get through this a couple of rounds. Like
Throw it at somebody?
Yeah, you got to hit somebody. If you miss, you're out. Or if you ding somebody, they're out.
Wow.
But the key is to get off the end of the dock into the water so the egg can't hit you.
Okay.
So the first couple of rounds go by great. We're down to about 4 of us left out of a whole crew. And at this point, now remember, you're running down the dock. You're jumping in the water. You have to reset, get back up. So the dock now, it's got a little bit of water on it.
Oh, boy.
And so the egg spins around, and it lands on the person near me. I tear out of there. Halfway down the dock, I hit a wet spot. Out goes the leg.
Oh,
goes the
no.
hammy.
Oh, no.
I am not kidding you. It's like a snake jumped up and bit me. I was like, yeah. And I limped across. I saw the egg go flying past me, so I didn't get hit.
Yeah.
I survived the round, but I got in the water. I could barely swim. I was like, oh, this is not great. So I go over, and luckily I was able to tap in one of my teammates who ended up winning the event.
Nice.
So 3-0 there for the green team. And but I was on the IL at that point from all physical activity.
Oh, no.
Now, they did come to the bullpen for the Spaghetti-O chugging. You ever done that?
No.
Yeah, me neither. It's a new one. They fill up a solo cup with Spaghetti-Os, and there's 4 cups for each team.
Uncooked?
Uncooked.
Oof.
And when they say go, the first team to finish the Spaghetti-Os wins. So you're hammering down these Spaghetti-Os, and when you can't eat anymore, you pass to your teammate. Well, green team won again, Anthony. I had Spaghetti-Os all in my gray beard. My beard was orange.
Nice.
It looked awfully weird for a while.
Well, you left it there for a while.
I did. Yeah, it's kind of like,
Victory.
that's my thing.
Sure.
But yeah, green team had the clean sweep, so I felt great about myself for winning the beer Olympics with my great team.
But you got the
felt
Forrest
like
Gump
an absolute
hamstring.
ass hat for blowing a hamstring running down a dock.
Now, what did you win? Like $1,000 or something for all this?
Just personal pride.
Oh.
Yeah, we got bragging rights.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Well, good.
Which will probably be Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
To where my kids are coming down to the lake. Mark and Jane are extending the invitation. My boys are going to be turning 20. that weekend. So we're going to redo the whole thing again.
Very good.
We'll probably take the spin the egg out.
Yeah, I would think so.
Dangerous.
Yeah, for some.
Under the age of 45.
That's Jamie Rivers of Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. What you missed, criticisms, compliments next.
Are you in the market for replacement windows? If you are, look no further than my friends over at Window World, the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Let's go over a couple of statistics here. Window World is ranked number one in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Window World is one of the 2 windows with good housekeeping seal of approval. How about a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor? What about if they offered you 18 months same-ish cash financing with approved credit? That is what you call customer service and customer satisfaction. And let's not forget that Window World uses a double-strength glass that gives it a strength not commonly found in replacement windows. How do I know this? Because I went into the warehouse and they literally laid a window down on the ground and I stood on it. And then they said, well, bounce a little bit. I bounced and the window didn't break. Fantastic quality. What does that mean for you? Means more money in your pockets. How? Well, because when it gets really hot outside, the heat doesn't leak in. And when it gets really cold outside, the cold doesn't leak in. Your windows are more efficient, which means you're keeping more money in your wallet. So please give my friends at Window World a call at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or look them up at windowworld.com.
miss anything from today's show, you can download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Talk plenty of Cardinals today. Some interesting moves. First and foremost, they DFA'd Génesis Cabrera, so we kind of speculated what went on there. And then after John Mozeliak spoke with the media about an hour ago, we dove into some of the highlights from that, including the comments made by Mo and Ollie on the Génesis Cabrera situation, as well as what Mo said about the pitching and the need to acquire as much pitching as possible at the deadline, and got into Tyler O'Neill and his return and what it can mean for the Cardinals. Also talked some City SC as they knocked off Miami. That Messi guy completely disappeared on Saturday, Jamie.
It's almost like
he didn't play. Yeah, that's how well he played. Jesse Rogers joined us from ESPN. He gave us an interesting tidbit. I think we'll dive into it a little bit more tomorrow on Shohei Ohtani and where he could land. And there was one spot that he threw out there that I was very surprised with, but it made a lot of sense.
It did.
So you can listen to the podcast, find out what Jesse Rogers said about that, as well as what the Cubs might do at the deadline, what he's hearing about, of course, the Cardinals. Some NFL 4 downs, some Blues talk earlier in the show. Alexei Toropchenko got himself a contract extension, so Jamie broke that all down. And, of course, we also discussed Jack Flaherty's performance from yesterday. Bradford Bruns, the last 2 shows, has done an outstanding job filling in for Andrew Marsh, and he's got some criticisms and some compliments.
2 compliments today, gentlemen. First, coming from the 617, is that Boston? Yeah, I looked it up. Anyway, nice convo about famous sports numbers, but you guys need to spend a little more time investigating and praising the likes of number 34, from Walter Payton to Bo Big Papi, Shaq, round mound of rebound, Chuck Barkley. I don't know about the Paul Pierce suggestion. Dominic Hasek, too? Need I say more?
Austin Matthews.
No kidding.
Yeah, there's some guys that wear that number.
Me in high school was my high school football number. So I appreciate
Anthony,
Beantown representing.
If it wasn't enough before,
it is now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, with what did you fire up the chips in college?
Oh,
need to know the digits.
I didn't make it that far. I was a spring training release essentially after they realized I couldn't play shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What number would you have wanted?
9.
Okay.
I would have taken anything though. Let's be honest.
That's true.
They gave me like 6 or something. Yeah, I would have taken that.
That's a hell of a number.
What was your other numbers?
Too many. Honestly, I never wore the same number twice.
What was your number in Detroit?
4.
Really?
Yeah, they said you remind us of Bobby Orr. We'd really like you to wear number 4.
Wow.
No, they didn't say that.
That's impressive.
They gave me a real number, though, so I knew I had a chance at that point.
No kidding.
Like when they give you like 68, you're like, ugh.
Ew. I may not play a lot.
May not be playing here this year.
All right.
Talk about off the beaten path. You guys would not have believed, actually, I think this was late in the 2 o'clock hour, early 3, the sheer amount of Food Lion talk on the text line.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, yeah. From Publix to Food Lion, my wife would probably fry me, actually, if I didn't reference its prominence in the Virginia area. East Coast, a little south as well. So, yeah, Food Lion, represent.
Yeah, I completely
I've yet to see one, but tell you what, I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Yeah. I didn't know what that reference was, so well done, Bradford.
Very well done.
Happy to get it out there. A little criticism here once more from the college gridiron. So the 816 kind of went off, I guess, on my Mizzou optimism. Did it come through? I'm not really sure. What about the porous offensive line last year? That definitely hampered creativity. It did, but at the same time, actually, Anthony, Mizzou had a pretty solid, stout running attack. So run blocking wasn't exactly the issue. When you're averaging 155 yards per game on the ground in the SEC, that's not something really to quibble about, quite frankly.
No.
It was the lack of big play ability in the passing game. You can say what you want about Brady Cook maybe being a little compromised in that regard, but I'm looking forward here to 2023, and once more, you're basically beginning your season. You don't play on the road. You don't have a true road contest until September 30th again. How do you get the ball in the hands of Luther Burden? Because if we're going back to the point where last season he's your 3rd leading receiver with barely 370 yards, you've got a problem with allegedly an offensive innovator in Eli Drinkwitz at the helm.
I mean, I agreed. Well said there, Bradford. I also agree with the texter talking about the offensive line. The offensive line was a problem last year. And if, I don't care who's your quarterback, if you can't get to a 7-step drop, you're not going to be able to have a deep game. And if it's shotgun constantly and it's 3 or 5-step drops out of your quarterback, you're looking at only short to intermediate passing. And if the other team knows you have no deep game, good luck.
Doesn't this once again, circle back to Eli Drinkwitz?
Absolutely.
If you're an offensive guy, don't you know that you need an offensive line?
And he probably does, and maybe he just hasn't been able to recruit. Go get it.
Interestingly enough, last season when you didn't expect it, Mizzou actually came to play, at least for long stretches, against the likes of Georgia and so forth. So that was interesting. Schedule doesn't necessarily get easier this campaign. I'm actually already looking ahead to 2024, in which you actually get Oklahoma. Let's renew that rivalry, Oklahoma coming to the SEC.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wonder how, what's Clemson's their defensive coordinator is now the head coach there. What's his name at Oklahoma? I can picture him. He's Clemson's former DC. Hold on, let me look this up. Somebody's screaming at me.
That guy, Bob.
No, it's not Bob. Brent Venables.
Close.
It didn't start with a B. I'll give you that. Brent Venables. I am interested to see what Brent Venables does. He was such a great defensive coordinator at Clemson. He stayed under Dabo for such a long time. Then he goes over to Oklahoma, and it's like, is he going to be able to recruit there and all that? So, that will be interesting. Anything else, Bradford?
Bang up job on this Monday, guys. Yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So Andrew Marsh will be back with us tomorrow. We'll see what sort of shape that he's in. Apparently he's been listening on the drive.
Yeah. Drive safely, Marshy.
Yeah. Take your time there, Marsh.
Yeah.
Take time on the road. You got to look out for the other guy.
Sure does.
That's what somebody told me one time.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Travel safe. Watch the road. Watch out for the other guy. And I'm like, okay. No idea what he's talking about.
Maybe to make sure they're driving properly.
Probably talking about you.
It's in play.
Gotta watch out for Jamie. All right, that'll do it for us. Instant replays coming up 6 to 7 here on 101 ESPN. We will be back tomorrow from 2 to 6. For Jamie Rivers and Bradford Bruns, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.